All
Uh,
right, stop laughing. We're live.
We're off to a good start.
this is a cold open. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. They were
Joyful.
harassing me before the during the setup time chat. So the disrespect is strong today. The disrespect is starting early, and I feel attacked.
Look at Corbin's face. It looks amazing.
He looks angelic.
Mm. Your face looks awesome. I don't care how weird that sounds.
Making me feet.
That mustache, that long hair.
Yeah, he's got the hair out today, man.
All the things kind of came together today. I'm having a good dick day, good hair day. Yeah, we're gonna be good.
And
I'm happy.
I like the shirt too. The shirt, it's an entire package. It's an entire package.
Yeah, I walked into work one day, and one of my coworkers, my hair was down. This was all freshly trimmed up. And one of my coworkers was like, "Are you on your way to a monster truck rally?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's kind of the look I'm going for." She's like, "Well, you achieved it. Good. Success."
That's
excellent.
I just really appreciate all of this right now.
Yeah, he is 100% man right now, and it's good. We needed it. This stream needs more men involved. Where we've been
the internet needs more men.
Yeah, we've been heavily
on the internet.
Yeah, that's definitely it.
We've been taken over by Corbin, did you switch off of your? What's happening?
That
was weird.
I didn't switch off anything.
I think you switched off the the game as the maximum.
Oh,
there you go. I have a hiccup once in a while.
I switched over to.
I didn't do.
I switched over to my interneting window so that I have all my. But I have to.
Well, yeah, but it's not the one you want on the stream. Nobody wants to watch his internet.
No, of course not. I hadn't switched over to. Yeah, I don't know why Discord did that. That was bizarre.
Anyways,
we're back. Welcome to what is today? The April 29th meeting of the Save Point Society. I will be your moderator and presenter today. Brandon?
Keeper of facts? No.
Correct.
Keeper of knowledge?
Don't forget we need to update the text for the game.
Oh, yes.
I did all that. I think I did all that.
No,
you have it. It still says a TBD game.
TBD.
Okay. All right. Fine.
Let's see. We're going to say Corbin's going skiing, too.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, look at this guy's getting all warmed up over in the crouch.
Lonely Mountain Snow Riders. That's what we're doing.
I
like that.
I'll be presenting today.
Firmly planted.
Max, right above me there, is going to be your Minister of Truth. He's going to be doing the fact-checking this evening. One below me right down there with the mustache and the hair and the beauty, that would be Mr. Corbin. He's going to be the Minister of Distraction, I think is what we settled on last time. He's going to... We understand that this isn't a lot for you to... Sans Corbin, this isn't a lot for you to look at, so we want to distract you with the oh, my arm doesn't go that way. You know what I mean. The bright flashing lights over yonder. And then, Sean, you are going to be handling the chat today, my friend. So chatters, you're going to be engaging with Sean. Yep. Hey, Dranith, welcome to the stream.
Yeah, thanks. Everybody in chat. Hello.
Corbin's already playing it in Chinese. Let's see how this goes.
Corbin, can you give us a quick synopsis of what's happening with this game?
Well, we're just going skiing. That's it.
It's a game. I watched you play this the other night, and it is.
We could do multiplayer, and we could race against people, or we can just kind of chill. And oh wait, I can change
this.
Oh, you better pick a good outfit.
Yeah,
I'm not any of these levels, so
graphically this is already very impressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, goggles.
Oh, the pink helmets
for the eyes.
Not
like are those helmets or stockings?
Level 3. I can't get anything cool. Come on.
Well, you better start running that stuff. I don't know. What is a warped axe? Is that a good thing?
Yeah, I was going to say.
Congratulations, Dranith. It's an item in Elden Ring. A small indie game. You might have heard of it.
Oh, wait, I can purchase these. Should I get pink pants?
Oh, did the pink pants have holes in the knees? What was that?
Those are knee pads.
Boy, what a color choice.
Those are groove pants. Rebel leg? What makes them? Anyway.
Brother, you have got some hips. You do not skip leg day, or this character doesn't.
His quads are the same size as his calves.
Dude, it's from all the skiing.
Those glutes, too. My man has been doing his hip thrusts.
That's a chill game. I'm kicking back a little. Let's kick back.
So while we're admiring this physique, I'm gonna jump right in with the hot, by popular demand, the hot internet debate that's sweeping the podcast nation. Something about who would win in a battle, in a fight, 100 men or one gorilla. What is your give me your theories here, boys? What do we got? Sean, Sean, it was your suggestion, so you lead us off, buddy.
Honestly, okay. If it's just some random dweebs, 100 dweebs off the street, the gorilla 100%. Like, the gorilla's smashing all of them. But if we get to put together the best team to beat the gorillas, I think 100 people can beat it.
I've got 3 off the top of my head that I want to add to the team. I've got 2006 John Cena. I've got 2009 Randy Orton, and I've got Reign of Terror Triple H. Those are my 3 that I'm adding to the army.
I had a weird feeling you were going to say 2008 John Cena, 2012 John Cena, and now John Cena.
I feel like I want to put like Brian Shaw in that mix, don't I?
Yeah,
I know
Brian
he
Shaw,
doesn't fight, but he's such a giant human. I feel like we need the mass. I think we need a mass in that.
So who is the biggest, or who has the meanest D line right now in the NFL? Because remember, we got 100 guys, so.
That's a good point. We need some.
Is it the
we got to think. Could be.
Yeah, one of them.
We got to think of this in terms of MMO too. We need some tanks. We need some DPS. So tanks. Brian Shaw is leading the charge there.
It's like a raid right now.
I mean, you might as well throw half Thor in there if you're just looking for meat.
Right. Yeah. I think we got half Thor. We got Brian Shaw. We got maybe Aleem McNeil, just because I like saying his name.
Fine. That's fine.
They can trade aggro. I mean, and by trade aggro, I mean they'll die in seconds, but we got to have a few of them to switch off to.
Wait. What are they? They're fighting what again?
One gorilla.
I already forgot.
Yeah.
I mean, look. That gorilla's going to do some damage. Don't get me wrong. But I feel like if you've got the 100 people and they approach it like the bees killing the murder hornets, like where they just like pile on and overheat it. Yeah. Just basically all those giant men piling on and just buzzing.
Yeah, I think that you could maybe with 100 people overpower. I just don't know how you do damage to a gorilla. I don't know what you do.
I mean, you got 100 people. I think you all mosh it at once. Off to a good start, Corbin.
Like if you tickle it, does it get embarrassed and then leaves? Maybe that'll do it.
Very peaceful mountainside. I don't think it gets embarrassed, but I think that look, I'm coming down firmly on the side of 100 people with the right mix could absolutely take the
100%. I think that if you got like a bunch of grapplers and fighters together, that it's very doable.
Yeah, throw them in there too. Remember, we got 100 people, so we got room. We got a lot of army to fill. Brock Lesnar is a pretty ape-like human, and it wouldn't be the worst thing if Ape took him down. That would be pretty okay. So I think Brock is the first tank that goes in. Yeah.
Did you say Brock or Barack?
Brock Lesnar, I think, is the first.
Hey, Barack
Obama could be the general that leads this army.
Yeah. Oh, guess the best part is, guess who wants to be the general? And I'm like, please make this happen. Elon.
Oh God.
Okay. I'm on board. This is now science. This is a scientific experiment.
Max. That's
I support.
100% right.
Did anybody explain to Elon that
control is?
Did anybody explain to Elon that he can't pay somebody to play this game for him? That he actually has to do it himself if he wants to participate?
Nope.
Okay, he's gonna try to get out of it, but
he will.
I want that to happen. So wait, what is there a consensus? Like, what do podcasters and the internet intelligentsia think?
I actually haven't watched any of it because I saw the prompt and I was like, internet.
It just like
Sean,
literally popped up today. Like I think a lot of people kind of go the same route. It's kind of like, well, there's 100 people, so a lot of people think the numbers will kind of outdo it.
Whoa,
and of course,
send it.
Oh boy,
that you perfect.
Oh,
how did? Oh, that was so good.
Like, how did you land that?
I think another thing that we have to factor in here is starting positions. Like, is it 100 people immediately on top of this gorilla? Because I think is advantageous for the humans. If the gorilla gets a running start and just comes in there, arms spinning, I think the humans are in big trouble.
Like a mosh pit. It's just
yeah. Because it's going to charge. It's going to take out some of the front line. There's no doubt.
Yeah, instantaneously. There are just pieces everywhere. Like so Starting position, I think, is a big deal. We're putting more thought into this than I think it deserves.
Just enough. Oh, just on the rocks.
Side note: the snow is very pretty in this game.
It is very pretty.
This game is incredibly soothing.
Yeah. Anyways,
Five asked if this was Ski Free 2. What's the name of this game, Corbin?
Lonely Mountain Free Skiing or something. I don't know. It's on Game Pass.
Hey,
hit a checkpoint.
All right. Move on.
Send it.
Beautiful.
Nope, didn't make it. So I think
There we go. Got that one. Nailed it.
I think you also have to take into account the terrain as well as the startup, because
I agree.
If it's jungle environment, you're gonna have to give
He's
do
on
that
home field.
single
home field
advantage.
Sure.
Am I not supposed to go off that side?
Guess not.
I feel like people. What's the people? You put them in a. I don't think even a boxing ring, because even though it's more familiar, I still think. I still don't think that totally advantages the people. What would be the people environment that?
No, I don't think you're wrong there. Actually, I think the smaller the arena, I think the more advantage it is for the people. The more wide open it is, the better chance there is for the gorilla to get some speed going and to pick off one by one.
Is this an '80s movie style where it's like 1 versus 1? You know each.
It ever takes a turn.
They henchman it.
Shit out of that.
Oh no, I think we need to avoid being henchmen in order for us to have a chance to win this battle.
Well, yeah, I'm just saying. I want to make sure the hypothetical isn't assuming it's one-on-one. Because if it's one-on-one, there's no way we win.
And by us, of course, I mean humanity in general. I don't mean any of us. Any of us would be.
I'm not getting that ring. Are you kidding me?
No, I got this. We'll be fine.
Gorillas are dangerous.
The gorilla might be taken aback by how beautiful Corbin is today, and that could distract the gorilla.
You're going uphill. This is downhill skiing.
There we go.
Well, look how high his score is getting, though, Max. Look, 35. Look how high that score got.
Points. This is that's a nice little mountain you're going down.
It's beautiful.
That's what you want. You want a high score in games like this, Brandon.
Correct.
Opposite of golf.
Yeah.
So what is the internet consensus? Do we have a consensus?
Oh, not really, because it kind of just started today or yesterday.
Hold on.
But it was more or less like
fact checking.
You'd be surprised how many people are confident they could take an animal in the wild. I'm like, you people are dumb as shit. Sorry.
I actually did. That was
people think they could take on a wild animal. They probably don't have the conditioning to take on another human being.
That actually was a thing that was trending for a while. Was what's the largest animal you think you could take in a fist fight? Do you boys have an answer to that question?
House cat.
In a fist fight?
I like animals. I don't want to fight animals, but if I'm going to, I think a capybara is pretty easy to take out.
I was gonna say a small cat.
Just a food. They're just food animals.
Jacob, behave yourself.
Oh, I didn't see
Jacob's here.
Well, we got a Jacob in the house. All right.
I could. Hey, be sweets, Jacob.
Not sweets.
I could take a calf, like a sleeping calf. I could take that out. That's a reasonably large animal.
What's your approach? Are you just doing a double axe handle on it, or what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
It would make an awful noise.
Elbow drop to the eye, I think is.
All right. Well, here, I googled who would win in a fight, gorilla or 100 men. And the AI overview is that in a hypothetical fight, 100 men would likely defeat a single gorilla, but at a significant cost. The sheer numbers and coordinated effort of the men would eventually overwhelm the gorilla, even though it's physically stronger than any individual human. However, the fight would be brutal, resulting in many casualties and serious injuries among the men. I feel like AI is cautioning us not to do this.
Or listen to, just hear it out. Maybe AI is saying, you got a chance, give it a shot, see how it goes.
Yeah.
AI's biggest jobs be saving the human race from itself. Be like, God, stop! Like, jeez, come on.
I think Stone has a take on this, and I don't know if I should subscribe just to read it.
Jacob says capybaras and thick and chill.
We did it!
He's absolutely right there.
I just want to hang out with one.
Oh, there's one. Yeah. I would definitely hang out with capybaras. Let's be clear, I would not fight one because they're amazing. But they're just an animal that exists to be food. I mean, let's be real.
I can't possibly think of a scenario where you'd fight a capybara. Like, what could possibly have happened?
The first person to see a capybara looked at it and said, "That thing exists just to be eaten. It's not a threat. It's just plump and succulent, and
it is a food source.
Opulent?
It is a food. That is a food item.
It exists to bathe and to be a
I'm a
serving plate
vegetarian,
for apples. That's what it exists to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
actually,
so-
I 100% know what animal I could beat, Brandon. I could beat the crap out of a stupid pelican. That's 100% true.
Sean has
seen
a
those
vendetta with
things.
pelicans that we will uncover over the course of. Oh, pelicans came up in the last stream, right? Wasn't that what the
Yeah.
the what was it called? The Bennu? That was the Phoenix meteor, because the Egyptian version of the Bennu was just a pelican with a fancy hat.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Here I have the definitive answer. Rolling Stone. They let me read this one for free.
Rolling Stone's good. I like Rolling
It is.
Stone.
It's kind of. It is. So I think we can trust the source. Michelle Rodriguez, a primatologist, conservation scientist, and member of the International Union for Conservation
Fast
of
and the Furious
Nature's
movies.
Primate Specialist. That's a group, by the way. And they are focused on human-primate interactions. She agrees that under normal circumstances, whatever that would be in this scenario,
Under
A
ordinary
gorilla-
gorilla fight.
yeah, a gorilla won't be squaring up against 100 men. As strong as gorillas are, and as much damage as their canines can do, it's not a fair fight, and a sensible gorilla would try to flee, she tells Rolling Stone. But via numerical odds assessment, I don't think there's much chance of a gorilla winning a fight when they have 100 humans to contend with. I think that's got to be the final word, right?
Yeah.
I mean, somebody who specializes in gorilla fighting, I would take her word on it.
Normal conditions. It's the abnormal conditions that would favor the gorilla.
Is that her? Is her degree in gorilla fighting, or is it in just like gorilla habits in general?
I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes.
Jacob says that if you give him a skyscraper and a skid steer, he can take out a large horse.
That's really weird. That's really weird.
The prompt was barehanded, Jacob. Now, to be fair, I've never considered a skid steer to be a weapon, so I guess you are also in danger up on that rooftop. So you can.
Quit breaking Sean.
It is.
We need him to pay attention this stream.
No, we
So,
don't. Keep breaking, Sean. It's okay.
Yeah, it's going to be my point
Importantly-
against a single gorilla. 100 men is way overpowering. Yeah, exactly, Jordith.
I still think that it comes down to the distance. People are not factoring in distance here, and maybe the temperament of the gorilla.
Yeah. What if it's just like
what if it was
capybara?
like, what if it was like Coco the gorilla that like sign languaged everything?
Yeah. What if it was
all
Amy from
super
Congo?
What if it
Josh
was a
signing frantically, please don't hit me.
Yeah.
Please stop hitting me.
Amy's scared. Amy's scared.
What if the
I hate
let's
this
see.
hypothetical now.
Jacob says a male polar bear would beat 100 dudes. I think we're overestimating
God,
our ability as a species. My money's kind of on the gorilla.
I don't know. Based on some of the articles you chose for tonight, not this one included.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'd kind of root for the gorilla. You know?
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for the gorilla. Are you kidding
I'm
me?
just saying. But I think one thing we can all agree upon to get to our first article here is that if you were going to try to battle a gorilla, you'd want to be at your absolute. You'd want to be at your absolute
Oh,
healthiest. Certainly
You
healthier
want to be healthy.
than Corbin skier. And
Smacked.
in an effort to become their healthiest,
Oh god! Oh god! Oh.
there
We're
is
good.
an odd increase in the popularity of the consumption of raw milk.
You
The
picked this just to
Nielsen
make me
IQ.
angry.
This was an amazing segue into raw milk.
I thought it was flawless. Thank you very much. Much like your skiing, it was picture perfect and completely smooth. Nielsen IQ in 2024 found that weekly sales of raw cow's milk increased between 21 to 65% compared to 2023. And Google Trends data shows searches for raw milk are higher than ever on the platform.
I added that today because of your articles.
There's a link to there's a lot of social media influencers who are talking it up, and also you can't avoid having to bring up that the current head of the Department of Health and Human Services has said that it has been unfairly maligned and attacked. So It's
My frontal
so
cortex is
nasty.
screening so many things.
I can. This is the closest I've seen to Max just holding in a scream at the top of his lungs, and I'm happy that he's containing himself so far. In the interest of fairness, well, I guess in the interest of being transparent here, I do believe the four of us are pretty uniform on our opinion regarding raw milk. But I thought, okay,
Raw milk is full of protein.
Not untrue, technically.
It's good for you from that standpoint, but that's
it has almost exactly as much protein as pasteurized milk. In fact, some would say, okay, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
So I decided, okay, we got to try to engage with this as fairly as possible. So I went searching for. Well,
Fair?
I think it's. I think it's important to try to be charitable to your opposition and to engage with it in good faith. So.
All right. Brandon will engage in good faith, and
I will engage in good faith.
the rest of us will not.
The rest of you will meme. Durandit says, look, if you want raw milk like that, no, I don't want to say that, Durandit. Never mind. I'm not saying that.
a bad word, but
I don't want to say it.
I mean, technically, that would be the safest way to have it, even though it's not the safest.
Yeah.
milk
So
you can have.
okay.
Anyway,
So I said, okay, I'm going to go out, and the first thing I did was I Google searched for why do people believe raw milk is beneficial. I was basically trying to find the people who believe in it. What is their reasoning for it? I want to know where their heads are at. And so I found, unfortunately, it was a little hard to find.
I think their heads are full of E. coli and salmonella.
Stop spoiling.
Get it?
Much like that milk. Stop spoiling.
Ah.
So I found an article on the from the Raw Milk Institute.
Oh,
God.
Oh yeah, definitely a not biased source.
Definitely sounds credible.
So I think they were formed. It was in response actually to.
I can't make that turn. Come on.
I think it was the FDA or the NIH publishing some findings about the number of incidents involving raw milk outbreaks, like health outbreaks. And they filmed this Raw Milk Institute to basically push back. So their
Push back on the science and evidence of raw
correct.
milk. Correct. Okay, just to be clear.
So their first point, and this one I found just extremely charming. Only you'll see in the context of their other arguments later on. They said that raw milk produced in concentrated animal feeding operations, or CAFOs, is likely to be more dangerous due to unsanitary conditions. So they admit that if you were to consume the milk that is produced for the purpose of being pasteurized, that it's going to be way more dangerous because those conditions in which that milk is produced are assuming that it will be pasteurized to deal with contaminants. So they said that highly controlled, highly sanitary, small operations reduce the risk. And that's probably true.
Yeah, level 4 unlock stuff.
So okay, hold on. So is the milk that goes into pasteurized? Are they just like dumping it on a cement floor and squeegeing it up with mops and doing and throwing it over a heat source? Is that how we do it? I feel like that's not how we do it.
I think that's the case. Well, you can be, what's the word I'm looking for here? You can be a little less stringent in your conditions at the source because you're going to be pasteurizing. And pasteurizing is specifically done to kill those contaminants. Sure. So we're not saying that you're like pumping it full of contaminants on purpose because you know you're going to clean it later. But you can be a little less stringent in those large operations because pasteurization is going to be your safety guard.
Okay, I see how that would be the point. Okay, yeah.
That's
and
their,
to be clear, Brandon.
To be clear, this is their position.
Dearly, and I know that you are not taking their point of view.
Thank you. To be clear, this is.
I don't know.
Can I ask a question real quick?
I think Brandon's one of them.
What kind of adults are drinking milk?
Ooh, good question.
I mean,
I get it. Cereal milk, classic, can never go wrong. You cook with it,
wrestlers?
cool. But
like bodybuilders and people
like
who's
sitting down to have like a glass of milk. It's like,
milk.
Man, it's so hot out. I could really go for a cold glass of milk.
Well, okay, well, if you come up with the conditions that are the least appetizing for a glass of milk, then probably nobody.
I don't.
They're
I'm with Sean on
all-
this. I don't think adults should drink milk anymore. I just think it's. I didn't like milk as a child, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
I think
I-
I oversaid it.
You're a biased.
Oh,
you're a
oh,
biased source. You can't
Snap
be
the
trusted.
Gamers.
Oh, you're bumping, brother. Oh, and your knees
See?
are completely gone.
But so basically,
Well,
right
I don't
away,
think I'm supposed to go that way.
the Raw Milk Institute gives away that okay, the way it's generally produced is going to be more dangerous. They pretty much admit that right away, and they say that in order to make it safe, it needs to be highly sanitary and highly controlled, and in these smaller operations. Okay, that's maybe possibly true. I didn't go into it deep enough to want to argue about that one. Okay,
Sure.
they have some claims.
I'm sure they do.
They
They're
have a lot of
institute. That's
They
not
have-
that's not a legally protected term. I can be an institute. Tell you what, right now I'm an
true.
institute.
I am an institute.
So
We are.
the,
This is the Save Point
Constitute.
Society Institute
correct.
and the Shaw Institute.
So the Save Point Society Institute will be pushing back against some of the claims of the Raw Milk Institute. So their first claim.
Oh,
was
you
that-
can see where I hit the snow. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you
You're-
off. Where
Raw
some of my
milk.
corpses went flying off the cliff. You can
How many of them do you have?
quite a few at this point.
Mm.
Anyhow,
is this the Dark
Raw
Souls
milk.
of skiing
Rock.
games?
That's kind of cool. That's pretty
Nice
metal.
jump.
The first claim, and I love this was my favorite one actually, was that from 1893 till 1999, raw milk was used for medical and therapeutic use, including the treatment of cardiovascular disease, renal disease, liver disease, hypertension, edema, asthma, arthritis, tuberculosis, and diabetes.
Used to treat tuberculosis.
That's yes. They was used to
There's
treat.
also
Yes.
a source of tuberculosis, which is curious. Also,
Curious.
last thing you want is a high protein source for renal disease. Throwing that out there, and
Exactly.
definitely get those arteries full of cholesterol. Please do. That's it's good for the cardiovascular disease.
Well, and the important thing about that claim is that
I don't
it
know
was
if
from.
I'm supposed to be on this lake.
Is
I
that
think
no?
you
This looks like a place
Yeah,
you
keep
should be.
going.
This is going well though.
Is that these were claims from 1893 till 1999, and we all know that science
Alternate those
stopped
poles.
in 1999. There was no further advancements, no
You said
further studies.
1893 to 1999.
So
These
for
are
100,
claims?
that's what they claim it was used for those purposes over that period. Now, obviously, they're saying that it could have been, who knows? Like in 1999, it could have been used for maybe one of those things, maybe hypertension or something. I highly doubt they were
Sure, I
prescribing
could
it for
use it
diabetes in
for-
1999.
I can use it for immortality. You know what? I use milk now for immortality. I could say that. I could say that about anything, and that's not what I use it for.
The
I didn't say
SPS
it works
Institute
for
can
it, but
publish
I
it.
use it for it.
Yeah.
They probably would publish it.
They say that due to a lack of processing, it makes the vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and fats more easily absorbed by the body. Which is
Dr.
Interesting.
Disapproval.
It's an interesting thing to say. I agree.
Yeah, we will. Let me just get through their claims and then we'll go through. They say that it. Oh, this one. They say that it doesn't cause digestion issues for lactose intolerant individuals
No, it doesn't have any
because it has enzymes that prevent that help to. Let's see. We have a couple of quotes here. One was from the Weston A. Price Foundation. It's a nonprofit advocating for raw milk, and the president says, that, I love the equivocation. There is not a food out there that isn't a potential carrier of pathogenic organisms. So the equivocation that any food can have pathogens, so they're all the same.
Some are just a perfect raw for growing them, especially when they're raw and you don't heat them up. I guess, okay, technically a true statement, not helpful, but technically true.
And then the last one, this is from Mark McAfee, the CEO and founder of Raw Farms, which you'll never believe it is a distributor of. Why did I say it that way? A distributor of distributor. Yeah, a distributor of raw dairy products. And he says, raw milk is non-allergenic, full of good bacteria, and the ultimate immune booster. And the author of the article goes to point out that McAfee sounds like evangelistic about raw milk.
Yeah.
And
How
you kind of
weird.
get that a lot with some of these claims where it feels like
Jesus milk.
it feels like there is a like this is a cure all for a lot of
Right.
people. The way that people approach these things, they really talk it up. So okay, Max, your hands are going to explode. I'm going to turn you. I'm going to turn you loose.
As of right now, I'm Dr. Max. Okay, look.
Okay.
I enjoyed my foray onto the Raw Milk Institute website. So Brandon sent these articles, which I didn't have a lot of time to look at because I was working all day and all this stuff.
I mean, I know you guys are going to be shocked by this, but I did not read them.
No, you don't. You know what? I'm going to save you some time.
The hell's reading?
I saw Raw Milk Institute and I got excited. I was like, this is going to be some bullshit.
No.
But,
It's right there.
But you weren't prepared for what you saw.
I was like, hey, they have a .org. Okay, well that's the most legitimate thing,
something.
if you can call it that. And then it all stopped. So I started looking at their website, and they wrote me a letter. The first thing on their website was a letter to medical professionals about raw milk. And,
I was just saying.
I did not get it delivered to my house, so I had to come to their website to find it. But that's fine.
Unprofessional.
I didn't spend a ton of time doing this, but even just a few minutes of just looking into some of their sources was like, it started hurting me physically. And I'm not going to go through all of them, but the first one that I found was Dr. Charles Porter, MD, published the book Milk Diet as a Remedy for Chronic Disease, which details his use of raw milk diet in the treatment of over 18,000 patients over the course of 27 years. And I was like, cool, who's that guy? I'm going to Google him. So I Googled him. Dr. Charles Porter, which you don't see on this website, the Raw Milk Institute, they neglected to mention that he published this in 1862.
They were selling themselves short then. They said 1893. They sold themselves short of 30 years.
That's when he published that
man.
book that we definitely still use in medical school. Let me tell you, Dr. Charles Porter, we can't. Porter or Potter? Porter?
Can't quote him enough.
The guy. So I was like, cool. When did pasteurization become a thing? For milk, 1888. That was like the first time somebody suggested it. So this guy's research, and all the quotes, is predating by like 25-ish years, 25 plus, right? So I was like, okay, not a good start website. This is probably not going to be great. Then they do this thing where they cite a bunch of sources, and I will give them that these are sources. That is as far as I will give the credit. Technically, these are things they are citing. They're not good sources, and a lot of these things have been refuted. So I started looking through them. There's a lot of them, and this is like one of those tactics where you throw a bunch of stuff out there. So you have all these sources, all these sources. But then you start looking at them, and you're like, okay, maybe there's problems with these sources. That's not going to surprise anybody. You got me on pressured speech. I feel like I'm in the middle of a manic episode here. But, so like the first one, just take the first one. A study of over 8,000 European children showed that raw milk consumption is associated with significantly lower rates of asthma and allergies. Kind of cool. I'll take a look at that. Because we do know there are some things, I believe, like animal exposure at young age seems to be associated with less allergies. Fine. Okay. Not my area of expertise, but I'll look into it. And so I started looking into it. And there's a kind of nice, almost side-by-side website by FDA.gov, which, caveat aside, this is like the 2025 U.S. government, so I get it. But this looks like it was there before. Content current as of 3/5/2024, so this was before we became a hellscape.
It is also, sorry to interrupt you, it is also like the snarkiest government article I think I've ever...
I know.
Like, you could tell how irritated the poor government employee was who was writing that.
God. I'm on a frozen river and we're just hauling ass.
Skating.
Sorry, Max. Go ahead.
That worked out.
Roll Tide.
So you're absolutely right, because the government employee, and I'm sure team of like government scientists being like, I can't believe we have to write this website. They're out there writing this website. And it is like a almost point-by-point refutation of everything, which I thought was pretty fun. And
it was weird how much it like reflected that.
Yes,
it almost felt like it was written for it. Yeah.
And at least in dark mode, they almost look like the same website.
Seriously.
So this site has more sources, I'm going to point out, and also the same sources that they used in the other article, except with like a more correct interpretation, I would say. So the big one, I think that this 8,000 children of raw milk consumption, I actually did look at the source itself. Yeah, these were like a bunch of kids in like the Alps or something on farms, and they kept saying farm milk in the article, and I was like, that's weird. It doesn't say raw milk. Why doesn't it say raw milk? It's because they were just assuming these kids were exposed to some raw milk, but actually a lot of those farms, like almost half of them, boil their milk, so it's like I don't know that you can say that that's really that beneficial. So if you start going through all these resources and sources, you see that like yeah, if you pick and choose words from stuff, I guess you can make it look like you know what you're talking about, but the Raw Milk Institute doesn't. It's painful. And then I was like, okay, immune system, pathogens. I wonder how dangerous raw milk really is. And then it just was a litany of articles about how many infections, including tuberculosis and rarer bacterial infections like Q fever, which I have seen once in a guy who raised cows, and it like eats through your heart. It's bad. It causes your heart valve to be infected. So you can probably avoid that if you stay away from cows in the wild and like don't drink raw milk. Why would you want to do these things? And I just kind of realized that the people who are like advocating for this stuff are like toddlers that are rebellious, and you're trying to prevent them from killing themselves and everyone else around them, and they just won't. And you're like, stop touching the stove. It's hot. And they really don't want to touch the stove because it's my right.
I'd like to point out for the for longtime viewers of the channel that there was a moment on a stream where I was the gamer, and Max had asked me a question about numbers, and I came to a complete halt, and my demeanor fully changed, and I got really animated and very into, like, I was very involved in it. The exact same thing happened to Max when he went into doctor mode right there, where his entire demeanor changed and he went into full on Dr. Max, who has had enough of this article 2 sources in, and I fully get it.
Yeah, there's gonna be, I can't possibly go through them all, but it's
no. And the thing you brought up about the farm, there being a lower instance of asthma for kids who were raised at a farm, that actually is indicative of an issue that I saw throughout that letter, which was, remember when they started the letter, they were very particular and specific about the sanitary conditions that you have to use in order to make this more, they don't even say safe, they say more safe for consumption. But then when they get down into their sources, everything starts being, it's correlated with, it's associated with, it's linked to.
Right.
They present nothing. They present no studies that show a causative link between the consumption and the supposed benefits. So, and one of the ones that I mentioned earlier that I thought was very, very charming was the one about how it's easier to drink if you're a lactose intolerant person if you have this raw milk. This, I don't know, any of you guys, I have lactose intolerance issues for, and it might not even be lactose issues because I'm cool with cheese, but like with like milk products, like liquid milk products.
The reason that you're okay with cheese is the rennet breaks down, like, so when they congeal the dairy to make cheese, they use rennet, which helps break down a lot of the lactose. So there's lower levels of lactose within the cheese, like processed dairy products like yogurt and cheese and stuff like that. That's why it's easier for us to digest. Because like pure milk will wreck my gut, absolutely destroy it unless it's like a lactose-free milk.
I
can use like cheese, yogurt, all that stuff, no problem.
Like Fairlife, I actually really like Fairlife. That's my protein shake milk, and it's also got higher protein and better macronutrient profile. So I really like Fairlife quite a bit. But what you brought up there, with yogurt also, I'm glad you brought that up because I never quite understood why the milk bothered me so much or so much more than like cheese, and because I'm good with yogurt too, and I actually looked into that. The lactose intolerance thing that they're preaching is that it's a misconception because some fermented dairy products like yogurt do have friendly bacteria that is purposefully added that naturally make lactase. Lactase being the
dang it.
protein that helps break down lactose. However, raw milk does not contain these particular bacteria. So there is absolutely no known mechanism by which it would create lactase to help you digest the lactose.
I also enjoy splitting up bacteria into friendly and unfriendly categories. Like, I think about them as pathologic and then, non-pathologic or benign.
No.
I like to think
moralize
of
your bacteria.
Somewhere. Yeah, moralize. So some of them are in the middle. They're like they're not friendly, not unfriendly. They're just sort of hard to get to know. They're introverted.
Yeah, the Switzerland of bacteria.
They're just hanging out. They're not doing anything.
And like, don't bother me. I'm not going to cause any problems or disease states. I'm just here, but I'm not doing anything for you either. I'm just they're particularly standoffish or whatever. They're hard to get to know. I enjoy.
They're shy. I get it.
Yeah, they're socially awkward, but they're there. Hey.
Yeah, they're nice enough.
Yeah, and I think I was talking. I was on my rant, and I think Drana said some stuff in the chat.
Oh, I was talking to him.
Yeah. Did you? Okay. All right. Maybe I was ranting. I don't remember.
His question was whether or not the raw milk people are flat earthers as well, and I'm not saying that Venn diagram is a perfect circle,
but it's pretty close.
It's more so than the MasterCard logo. I would venture a guess that we have a significant amount of crossover there, and we'll get to that as we proceed here.
Yeah, you raise good points about the lactose intolerance thing. And here's the other thing: you can acquire lactose intolerance later in life. You're not just born with it.
Me did.
So yeah, exactly. A lot of people do. So there you go. That doesn't seem to jive. Yep. I also like within this FDA article, the article cites itself. Like, as you can see in section 4 above, the person really got.
They were getting irritated.
I enjoyed that. I enjoy when I can read that through the voice of a science writer.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple other. So they did bring up the association that we talked about. I'm just looking at my notes here. I started making an outline, and it got kind of long again. But it's just because when it's some more science-based article, you kind of want to have your stuff in order. And they said exactly what you said about when they were talking about the allergies and asthma. Is that there is already a known link between kids who grow up on farms and a lower incidence of asthma. But again, the raw milk people, not even specifying that it was indeed raw milk that was being used, but the assumption that farm milk was raw milk.
I think growing up in cities is a risk for asthma too. And if you're not in a city and you're on a farm, maybe it's not the milk.
Exactly.
Cities and farms are different.
There's no causal mechanism proposed. It's just that, these people in this situation happen to have less asthma, and they probably have a higher likelihood of raw milk, so that's clearly the cause, is essentially what they're proposing. It's like the worst version of like science bastardization that you can do. So that claim is extremely weak. And that's being generous.
Just do it this way and they're all unlocked. Hell yeah. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good.
Corbin's flipping through menus.
Let's figure things out.
This is the paths upon which you have skied are about as logical and straightforward as the argument for why raw milk is okay for people to drink.
So like the Amish kids all have juggernaut digestive systems that could just demolish milk no matter what.
Correct, because they grew up on a farm, so they are immune to all.
Hold on, Amish kids raw milk. Let's just see what brings up there. All right, let's see here.
No problem.
Okay, so number one,
Amish kids Russian
not
now?
all the Amish. Yes.
No problem, we are Amish.
It's because of the beards, isn't it, Sean?
Yeah.
All right, number one, while some Amish communities may consume raw milk, it's not universally practiced. And the source for this is AI overview, so it's fine.
Is it the Amish Institute?
It's not the Amish Institute.
Oh,
the Amish Institute of Raw
the
Milk.
Raw Amish Institute.
Don't say the raw Amish.
Oh, they should call it the Ramish. Hell yeah.
Oh, there you go.
The name writes itself. The Ramish Institute.
How did this Amish milk farmer become a MAGA icon? Interesting question.
Don't do this.
I'm not diving down that. No, I found something earlier that was how many kids Amish kids get sick from raw milk and pathogens, etc. I'll find it later, but it's
go ahead.
Silliness.
Yes. One of the other claims that they had made was that there are more vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and higher bioavailability in raw milk. Raw and pasteurized milks have almost the exact same amount of protein. It's going to be made up of casein and whey protein. They also have similar amounts of fat, minerals, and vitamins. The pasteurization can cause some loss of vitamins, mainly vitamin C, which if you are drinking milk to get your vitamin C, you are already lost and hopeless.
You have
and
scurvy.
I have no
You're drinking.
words for
You
you.
have scurvy.
That is probably the least of your concerns.
Yeah. If that is your primary vitamin C source, the pasteurization isn't the problem here, my friend. But
So it's just so funny.
yeah,
I need my vitamin C, man. Give me a cold glass of milk.
There's this this
Oh, am I gonna make it?
hatred for
No.
there's this hatred for like processing foods, because I feel like people, when they think processed, they think Twinkies, and it's not true.
I do think Twinkies.
I mean, Twinkies are processed, Brandon.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you
just-
knew that.
they are, but steak is processed, chicken breast is processed. There are no naturally occurring steaks in the wild.
Well,
We process food to make it more palatable. Minimally processing, sure, is probably a good idea. But there are some highly processed foods that are whey protein powder is a maximally processed food, and it has incredibly high bioavailability for protein. It's one of the best sources, and it has a complete amino acid profile. Like Dranit says, orange juice is also pasteurized.
Yeah.
But the point is that, like, just processing a thing, people are very dogmatic about it, where processed equals bad. That's not necessarily true. Most foods are processed to some degree. It is probably true that that minimal processing is better, but it's also good to not be dogmatic about it and to have that be to treat it like an absolute. Yeah.
Speaking of raw milk, my allergies are kicking. I got to put in my eye drops. I will be right back.
Milk.
Yeah,
Get
just
some milk.
have a nice big
5,
glass, Sean.
he's gonna
I'll,
drip
I got
some
you in the
milk in his
meantime.
eyes.
5 says I drink my OJ straight from the cow. That is probably the safest way to do it. Also better than consuming E. coli. Yeah, I mean, you do have a lot of E. coli already inside your intestines, but the ones that are not causing you to poo blood and watery diarrhea are the E. coli you can go ahead and hang on to. Don't add more if you don't have to.
So yeah, that
Unless
brings us
you really
to
want to.
that brings us to what we're all here for, which is the numbers on the safety regarding raw milk. So that was the last claim that last big claim they made was that good hygiene makes raw milk safe, and it can probably make it safer. Good hygiene in general is going to make most foods safer, so we're not really saying anything there.
Sure.
Oh,
But-
come on!
Clean your food before you eat it.
Raw milk can carry brucella, E. coli, listeria, salmonella. It is the known cause of 133 outbreaks of these conditions from 1987 to 2010 in the United States. Those
And then there
outbreaks,
were no further outbreaks.
none, no more after that. Those 133 outbreaks were responsible for 2,659 cases of illness, 269 hospitalizations, 3 deaths, 6 stillbirths, and 2 miscarriages. So
Yeah.
Wide
these
array
numbers,
of side effects.
yeah, these numbers are not comparable to pasteurization. However, I will say, checkmate liberals, the 3 states with the highest frequencies of outbreaks are California, Washington, and Utah. But California and Washington both.
Utah has cows? It was like
Utah apparently has some
a
kind of
desert
weird mountain
planet.
cow. Yeah, some kind of weird red rock cows. Desert cows. But according to the NIH, unpasteurized products are consumed by a small percentage of the population, but they account for. Anybody have a guess as to the percentage?
Say, what was the question one more time? Sorry.
Sorry, Jacob says OJ is dead.
Actually true, I think.
It's because he was
Yeah, it is
unpasteurized, Jacob. That was the problem.
Yeah.
He didn't maintain a safe temperature. The NIH, the National Institutes of Health, point out that unpasteurized products are consumed by a small percentage of the population. I think it's less than 3%. But they account for, take a guess as to the percentage of related illnesses.
Okay.
80%.
You said it earlier and I already forgot. I'm going to say
72.
69.
Wait, is this
Nice.
Price is Right rules?
It's always Price is Right rules.
This is Price is Right rules.
$1.
God
$1.
damn it.
They account for $1 of the related illnesses. 95% of the related illnesses.
Never mind.
Not a good. Wait, hold on. Is that on the Raw Milk Institute? Let me look.
You'll never believe it. That stat is nowhere to be found on the Raw Milk Institute's
Weird.
letter that you're supposed to bring to your doctor. The risk was
Yeah.
found to be greater than 800 times higher for raw milk and cheese.
Like those
compared to
odds.
pasteurized.
I'll take those odds in Vegas every time.
Oh, Corbin's catching speed.
And
God.
so we've got it's 800 times more dangerous. It carries conditions that pasteurization is specifically designed to take care of.
Sure.
Quick diversion. The New Jersey Devils have been eliminated. The Hurricanes had a power play goal in double overtime. Is that our first
Go Whalers.
series? Is that our first series advancement?
I think so, yeah.
You guys are talking football,
Yep.
right?
Yeah,
Grey Cup, Canadian Football League.
that's the one. So it's way more dangerous.
I'm gonna open my
the health
pasteurized non-alcoholic beer.
The health benefits are basically non-existent. And again, I'm being as generous as I can possibly be with my language here. There may possibly be a slight increase in vitamins and maybe protein content with the raw milk.
Negligible, but possibly negligible benefit, but possibly there.
Yeah, we're talking like a gram or two of protein difference. Like it's such a ridiculous,
these
negligible
senators.
as to be basically non-existent.
Yeah, but
I
what
just
if
punched my
that
microphone, sorry
1%
about that.
protein is the difference
No!
between you and your gains?
No, not 1%. 1 gram. It's nothing.
Corbin, I saw that.
And to
I'm
make
just in like a free ski mode now, so there's no timer, there's no checkpoints. We're just skiing for fun now.
you're just advancing
Okay.
for the sake of for its own sake, and that's something to be said for that. That's I'm proud of you for just bettering yourself.
We're literally achieving nothing here, and I'm just
Wait
I'm just cruising down the
to
mountain,
describe the stream, Corbin.
All right, I'm curious. Has anybody in this stream, in chat, anything like that? Have you ever had raw milk? Have you ever run across it? I've never run across it in the wild, and I get why, because there's regulations and whatnot, and I would never want to. I'm just wondering, have you or a friend been offered raw milk on the
Yes.
street?
Really?
Seriously.
not on
me.
the street. It wasn't like some weird shady
Down the alley, come here.
that happened behind a 7-Eleven somewhere.
I bought olive
There's a
oil
cow
out of the
back
back
there.
of the car once. That's as
Calzetta.
scary as I got.
I did buy a bunch of breakfast burritos out of a stranger's cooler on Colfax Avenue in Denver one
That's
time.
perfectly fine.
We've all done that.
And
Yeah.
those were some of
They're
the
awesome.
best. I was like, I'm gonna totally get food poisoning, and those were some of the best burritos I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like,
You
oh,
know the
it's so
risk.
good.
The taste is worth it.
I mean, it was at an auto parts store. Like, how bad could it have been?
Yeah, Geranith says, have a very slightly bigger glass of pasteurized milk to get that extra gram of protein. Exactly.
I will say, growing up in Colorado, if you have never bought a burrito from somebody who randomly walked into a bar with a cooler, have you even lived?
Absolutely
I
not.
don't think
20s.
so. Like, that is such a normal thing in that
It's a
state.
rite of passage.
Yeah, it's just like,
Oh god, I'm gonna die.
I'm going to be fine. But you know what?
Bar,
They pasteurize
baseball
that
game.
by cooking it.
Yes, correct.
thing.
That reaches that. Well, assuming. Well,
You assume that
hope
they
that it-
cooked
yeah.
it.
Dude,
You
it comes out of that cooler. It's piping hot. Like, it's
That's
delicious.
true.
No way. There's no way. I
Yeah.
trust.
Dude,
I
now I
trust
want
those people.
now I want a strange burrito from somebody I don't know.
Yeah,
I want
absolutely.
someone
And
to offer me a piping hot glass of milk.
A strange burrito and some raw
Straight,
milk.
straight from the cow that they
Which
like.
will
got
get you
behind
sick
them.
first.
then raw
I did
horchata.
spend
You just get to drink it right from the source.
my
I feel
there's
I
a
feel like we
possibility
need a merch page now. Would you guys buy a strange burrito t-shirts?
Yes.
strange burrito or hot glass of milk.
A glass of raw
I
milk.
just want it. I want a T-shirt that just says "Show me your strange burrito."
I did. My grandfather on my mother's side actually was a farmer.
Weird.
And had so I grew up like summers we would go out there, and so I actually spent time around livestock and such.
You milked
So
the cow?
there is there is a possibility that I consumed raw milk. Maybe I'm not sure. I mean, I was a kid. I was really small. There's a possibility that I consumed it like from the farm.
So,
but that's the
go ahead, Brandon.
no, that's the closest that I would have had is that and I'm not even saying that I necessarily did, but that's like I mean, I don't know. It's not unlikely considering that spent summers on a farm.
He's a raw milk truther.
That's me. Yeah, I'm slowly trying to. I'm trying to milk pill you guys. Is what I'm trying to do.
You're trying to milk us? What?
Yeah.
I was gonna put part of the title "Raw Milkers," and I was like, I feel like that has a connotation I'm not fully aware of. I'm not gonna put it on there.
That would have been amazing.
Just immediately gets flagged.
I typed it and I stared at it. I was like, I don't think I want to Google this either.
As the fact checker, I think you need to.
Make sure if you're gonna Google it, make sure you do it from a work computer.
We're gonna put this to a vote. All in favor of Max? Oh, he's actually doing it already. Never mind.
I don't even need to know what the rest of the sentence is. I'm on board.
Okay, I'm gonna say it did not turn up anything too scary.
That's unfortunate.
Well, you have safe search on. You gotta take that bad boy off. You get all the results.
Nope, I'm not doing that.
Yep, get that.
I'm
get
definitely
that
not doing
blurry
an image
search off.
either. Not doing an image search.
Please do an image search.
No,
and
anybody can do their own image search or whatever they want in the privacy of their own home.
Oh, you popped Judas.
Excellent.
Can I do it in the privacy of your home?
Please do.
Yeah. Well, sure. You know what? I'm gonna say yeah. You probably would anyway, right?
Yep.
Yeah. See.
I had one last point after all this, because I was thinking, like, okay, so it's not healthier, it's not safer, there's no additional nutrition content, it doesn't have to help with, or it doesn't seem to help with any kind of illnesses.
But it is fun to say you're a raw milker.
So I was like, okay, maybe the price. Can you guess what I found,
Such
fellas?
numbers. You're such. God,
Oh,
you're such
I'm sure
a
it's
numbers guy.
what like I'm guessing like a quart is like $7.
Yeah, a good guess. I found quarts as high as $8. I found half gallons ranging from between $7 and $11.
Nice. In this
Now-
economy?
Absolutely
that much-
insane.
There's less work put into it. What are you doing?
I can go and get again a optimally extra pasteurized, higher protein content, less fat content, less carbohydrate content, a half gallon of Fairlife for $5, and they want me to pay between $7 and $11 for a glass of tuberculosis. Like
Probably
So
800% chance of getting tuberculosis.
So on top of everything else, it also appears to be now. Don't get whatever raw milk truthers. I'm sure that if you go and buy it directly from a farm, it's probably cheaper. It's probably reasonably priced. But like trying to source it from grocery stores or the internet or what have you, it's way more expensive. It's like double the price of pasteurized milk.
I live in Wisconsin. I'm not going to try to go find a farmer with a cow to buy milk.
Yeah, there's that
from.
too. It's also
You can find it.
And not buy milk. I don't drink milk. It's gross. I'm an adult. So I buy oat milk like a sensible person.
God, you're such a liberal.
I really am.
So how do you pasteurize your oat milk?
They boil it to make it. It's fine.
Boil them oats.
Do you have
Make
to
oatmeal and then
pasteurize oat
squeeze
milk?
it.
I mean, you do heat it and boil it, so yes,
Okay.
you do pasteurize it.
Make oatmeal. You squeeze it.
I've made it once because yes, I know I am.
Oh my God.
But
Does it enhance the flavor of oatmeal? Does it taste better in there?
Oh no.
I know that
Corbin
it
died.
does. I've never considered. I don't eat a lot of oatmeal.
I've never actually had oat milk. I've had almond milk. I've had soy milk because I'm the ultimate liberal and I'm
But
as soy as they
you
come.
just had rhubarb last year for the first time.
Why are you doing this to me? That's not what this is about.
Dude, rhubarb's gross. Like I don't.
Strawberry rhubarb pie. No, it's delicious.
No, it is not.
Rhubarb
But
is
you know
scary
what?
looking.
I'm with
Sorry.
Max.
The whole secret to rhubarb is like my wife always buys a bunch of it when it's at the farmer's market. She's like, "Ooh, I like rhubarb," and it just sits in the fridge because
You make a pie and what else?
I know you make a pie and what else. My wife doesn't really bake a lot,
Yeah.
so I'm always like, "Well, it's a bunch of wilted rhubarb in the fridge again."
Juranis says that he's had cashew milk and that's pretty good. And 5 is a horrifying person. He says that he eats rhubarb raw. 5, how are you not in prison?
5 is different.
He's definitely on a list somewhere.
Do you wash your raw rhubarb down with a raw milk vibe? Is that your?
It's so amazing.
Are you on an all raw diet?
His entire diet is just raw milk and raw rhubarb.
Five is just at his kitchen table with a glass of raw milk, rhubarb, and a stack of sardines, just going to town.
My God.
Oh, God.
I hope only good things happen to you, Kagib, and I really mean
We
that.
love you, Five.
Jacob doesn't know what rhubarb is.
That's
No, Kagib's blowing me up. This is... I told you, I was getting razzed before the stream, and I'm getting razzed live on stream. The disrespect is real, and I'm a coward, so I'm just going to tolerate
hey,
it.
don't say disrespect. We don't want to be associated with him.
This doctor is disrespecting me, and I don't like it.
Now we're demonetized.
So to put a little bow on that, once again we have some social media health gurus out there pushing this stuff that is more expensive, and no evidence indicates that it's not even better for you, but like even safe for you. And they talk about how the pharmaceutical industry is so evil and so bad, and it's been going around, but I think that it's fair for us to point out here as well.
Oh my God, it's so fast. Holy shit.
Pharmaceutical industry revenue was $1.6 trillion in 2023. The wellness industry revenue was $6.3 trillion, over 3 times as much.
It's too many dollars. It's too many
Yeah,
dollars.
nearly, basically 4 times as much as the pharmaceutical industry. So if you're the kind of person who thinks that big pharma is bad, the wellness industry is selling you worse stuff with no proven track record for way more money.
Yeah.
And you should feel bad. That's the message of the stream. You should feel bad.
We should also probably become wellness influencers if we want to retire early.
Correct.
That's kind of the give and take.
Yeah. Friend says, I can't eat raw rhubarb. I don't peel my kiwis before I eat them. All I do is get picked on for my food.
Wait, you don't? What? You eat the fur?
You eat the fuzz?
Oh,
No one's telling you to say these things in public. What?
Wow.
Just walk up and eat them. What does it taste like, Five? What does the fur taste like?
It's like swallowing a Brillo pad. Just raking down your
Texture's not
esophagus.
great.
Do you just eat a chicken, feathers and all? What do you eat?
just the whole chicken. It's still alive. He just puts a chicken in his mouth.
Mayo on his burritos? Duranath, what are you saying right now?
Why is this chat degrading so rapidly?
Yeah, I love the monsters that populate our chat. Where did you see
Who
anything about
puts
mayo
mayo?
burritos? Yeah.
Can somebody say a normal food thing in chat at some point?
Hey, can we get Geriatric in here and have him give us some of his food takes too?
I don't think he had a strawberry till he was in his 20s.
There has to be
No,
one normal
it was
food
until he was
person out there.
he was like 35 the first time he ever ate a strawberry.
Rudo from DNVR. It's his famous weird food take. Duranath, get Rudo, invite him to our stream so that we can bully him. And so we can make Five feed him his disgusting, fully skinned food that he enjoys so much. Do you eat bananas with the peel? All right, Five. I'm sorry. We don't mean to. We're not a stream to bully you. It's to bully me about rhubarb.
Yeah,
We take it back. We're sorry. We love you with all of our heart. You're the best moderator in the whole wide world.
I
Brandon,
know
do
what
you eat
Jacob's trying to
bananas
do.
for the shape?
I'm sorry.
I know what you're trying to do.
Do you
like
eat
bananas
bananas
for
for the shape?
In that they're very easy to eat. Yes. Actually, I hate
Comfort
bananas.
Argument.
Yeah.
God, don't get me started on that.
What, bananas?
Ray Comfort and bananas. It's a different stream. It's a different stream. Good airtime.
Something like the texture of bananas bothers me. It's too squish. I don't like it. I feel like bananas feel like a food that is rotten to me. No matter what ripeness I eat them at.
It's interesting because like bananas or something like I'm not gonna say I will eat like a ultra mushy black banana, but I will
sure.
I will give bananas a lot of shelf life and still eat them. Tomatoes have to be like in this perfect Goldilocks zone where I will eat them. They have to be like a certain amount of firmness. If I see one wrinkle, I'm not touching it. It's just how it is.
Oh, not me, man. I'm a little bit of a fucking trash panda. Like I will eat some stuff where I'm like, I probably shouldn't eat this.
You did that in Vegas, and it cost you.
Brother, if it passes the smell test, you're good to go.
That was a chicken salad sandwich at basically a gas station. I should have known better.
It was out of the Luxor. That's a nice gas station.
It's a gas station.
I learned my lesson. That will probably never happen again, at least until I'm in Vegas again.
At least until the next trip, yeah.
So next month then, boys, right?
Let me just eat this questionable chicken salad sandwich and get on the plane. Was Corbin's plan.
I think I had diarrhea for like 4 days because of that.
That's hey, good for that for sticking around. Oh man, Duranath has a paragraph. Sean, get it.
Okay, I stopped eating tomatoes at Subway because their tomatoes were too often weird. I replaced them with cucumber slices instead. Good call. And then I stopped going to Subway because they're insanely expensive and it's not that great of a sandwich.
Or you should just not go to Subway mostly because their food sucks.
Yeah.
And their spokesperson was kind of sketchy. We won't talk
With
about
that said, if Subway wants to sponsor this stream, we'll happily shill your garbage sandwiches.
No, I won't.
We'll get foot-long nachos and eat them on stream. We don't give a fuck.
They need to start actually having like meat in their meat products for me to do that.
Jacob says his grandpa. Jacob said that his grandpa used to eat whole raw onions like an apple.
Oh god.
Oof. Brutal.
Yeah, Five. We know you like those. You said that on a stream last time. You eat them while you're preparing actual food. You monster.
I mean, I'll eat like 1 or 2 little bits, but then I'm like, gross. Why did I do that?
Not of an onion.
I do like tomatoes, but I'm not like my dad would eat a sandwich that was literally just like a slice of bread, a sliced up tomato, and salt. Like a whole tomato sliced up on a piece of bread, and that was like a sandwich to him. I don't like them that much, but I do.
I mean, I've had like salted tomatoes before, you know.
Yeah,
it's a really good like heirloom tomato or something.
We're Italian, man. We don't have a choice.
Throw some slices of tomato into a grilled cheese sandwich, and you're talking.
Tomato soup with a grilled cheese sandwich, all modern.
Yeah, I can do tomatoes too. And if you're gonna have questionable tomatoes, like in texture, if you cook them down and like blend them up, fine.
There you go. Yeah. What's the opinion on sun-dried tomatoes here? How are we feeling about that?
Again, I'm a trash panda. I'll eat them.
They're fine. They're just there.
I used to hate them. I really like them now. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you can overdo it. I remember one time. Wife and I ordered pizza. It was like build your own. We got a bunch of stuff, and it was like weird. We got like jalapenos and sun-dried tomatoes and something on it. I don't know. We were picking stuff. I remember we got it, and we were like, "This is the first bad pizza I've ever had." And these sun-dried tomatoes do not work well with half these flavors that we picked. Our fault. I will acknowledge that. But I've always kind of been a little burned out on them after that.
I think the problem was that you didn't kill any animals with that pizza, Max. That's the reason it wasn't good.
That is true.
Yeah.
Whee!
Yeah, well, that and sun-dried tomatoes, I just don't like them on pizza, to be honest. Like,
no, that's not a good
place.
place.
Certain dishes, yeah,
they're for a salad. They're They're
it's out of a pasta dish. You
can
put them in a few different things.
Duranath asks fried green tomatoes. I don't know that I've ever actually had them.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
Those are good.
They are pretty good.
Are they a little more bitter?
They're like they're more tart.
Yeah, okay. Sour.
When I was living in Florida, that was definitely a thing.
Those are good,
peanuts.
And you can put like some marinara on top of them.
From like
great.
Some random gas station. Yeah, that's good stuff.
Yeah, that was. I still have been ruined, but that's like the one good thing that I did in Florida. That and the Kennedy Space Center, but I don't consider that Florida. I think it doesn't belong in Florida. It's for a different place, not Florida. So the Kennedy Space Center is, as far as I'm concerned, sovereign land that does not belong to Florida.
Jacob says, I used to eat stewed tomatoes all the time. Thank you, Jacob.
Just stewed tomatoes?
Just
like
out
by
of
themselves?
I just out of like a can.
Come on, man.
Your can of stewed tomatoes.
Come on, man.
That's brutal.
Yeah. What? Did you have no money? We would have helped you, Jacob.
I think this is while he was also like gobbling down ravioli from the can.
That's fine. That is a fine thing to do.
Fishing the cushions for change for the new video.
I know we've been dogging raw milk with good reason.
The point is that fried green couch cushions are better for you than raw milk is. Don't drink raw milk. It's just not. There's no reason to do it. The benefits are nothing, and it's bad for you. It can hurt you a lot.
The people that are doing it, it's like some weird ego like thing, and I don't understand it, but it's really based in nothing.
Well, Draneth brought up
really weird hills to die on in the wellness industry.
Draneth brought up the flat Earth thing earlier as in a relation, and I mean, they're not like, inextricably linked, but I think that there is sort of an explainer there where it's like people like to feel like, people like to feel like that they have this hidden knowledge that you don't have. And so raw milkers and we said it live on stream. Sorry, Max. Raw milkers and flat earthers both. They like the feeling that they have this secret knowledge that they aren't supposed that makes them better than the poor normies who are out there drinking their safe boiling hot
non-tuberculosis laden milk and dairy products.
Yeah. Where do you get the flavor if not from the salmonella? Where do you get your flavor?
Yeah. I think this is actually an interesting kind of like side passion of mine in medicine. Your guy's broken. So one of the nice things about my current job is I do palliative medicine, so I get to spend a bunch of time talking to people. Like I get to educate them about what's going on. I have a personal belief that medicine and scientific knowledge, part of what I like about doing this show is that it shouldn't be behind a big curtain. It shouldn't be like hard to access. And so when I get to talk to patients, I can spend time trying to get them to understand kind of what's going on, what their disease is, why we're treating it a certain way. And I have patients say like, wow, nobody's ever spent that much time telling me this. And I get to cheat because my specialty takes a lot of time to talk. It's like a luxury we have. So I think that in medicine, especially when you look back and generally in science, the earlier 20th century, it was kind of behind closed doors. Scientists did stuff. There wasn't a lot of popular expose on how things work. And just kind of over time, through a variety of factors that are well beyond whatever this rant will end up being, the practice of science and the understanding of like science and rationality got pushed away from the common knowledge. And so, as you said, Brandon, like it people like to kind of feel like they have inside knowledge because they haven't been allowed to be part of that sphere. I think there's been a long deficit of like doing better science communication, and we're seeing it's at least part, I think, of why things are the way they are in so many ways today.
Come on.
I agree that it feels like people, Americans in particular, already have a healthy distrust of government. And when they feel like knowledge is being kept from them, people can jump to some wild conclusions. And oftentimes just go in the exact opposite direction of whatever that they're being told, just because they feel like I've been lied to before, so now I have to believe the exact opposite because that's clearly what the truth is. Which, as you pointed out earlier, is a pretty childish way to engage with really any topic.
Yep. And look, as the show serves as evidence, any yahoos can get some cameras and go on and like start talking about stuff. Like, I mean, the fact that is in the when you had information behind closed doors to some degree, or you had to go to college to learn it, etc. Now you can get all the information you want with no filter and or it's up to you to actually take the information and try to figure out what's good and what's bad. And there's so much out there, it's difficult to do.
Pretty good rule of thumb is if someone starts telling you about a problem that you had no idea that you had and then starts selling you a solution to it, probably ought to not be listening to that person.
Probably fair.
Yeah. Or at least verify. Find some other sources. If someone is selling you the one miracle cure that doctors hate this one trick, but they're the ones with this secret knowledge that they can give you.
I have never been asked which tricks I really haven't. I've been doing this for over a decade. I have not been asked.
I just don't understand why the skepticism ends right there. Yeah. The skepticism comes to a screeching halt when some Yahoo who is telling you a thing that I guess I just answered my own question. When some guy who is telling you exactly what you want to hear, that person, there's no investigation, there's no skepticism, there's no doing your own research on that. That is just accepted at face value. But all of the scientists in the world present something to you. And they're all clearly involved in some kind of cabal to make you drink milk with 1 less gram of protein so you stay the pencil neck nerd that you are, Melvin. Yeah, talking to Melvin. Get out of the chat.
You did just kind of sum up the entire American population.
I know.
In one sentence.
Okay, so
that'll close Corbin. That turn.
So the raw milk was one when we were still kicking around the idea of doing this stream. Raw milk was like one of the first things that we had talked about doing, and I wanted to do it just because I know that it wasn't one we were going to have like a lot of healthy disagreement on, but I thought we could at least have some fun banter on, and I think this is pretty fun.
We don't have to have disagreement. We just have to go through the ideas in the.
Do you want me to disagree with you? Because I can.
No, well, not on this. Save it for later.
We're here to expand our own knowledge. That's what we're here to do. Share that, and so there's going to be some times I think where we may find things that we're not totally sure that we agree on, but I think investigating and if coming to a similar conclusion based on our sources.
Oh God, I'm gonna die! I'm gonna die!
No, you're fine.
Sources, that might be a good thing.
See, we disagreed there, but we're still friends.
I don't know. Our friendship can withstand this, Brandon. Sorry.
That's a fair point.
It's been a pleasure. That was the nail in the coffin after 20 years.
2 decades, boys.
Raw milk.
Slightly more lighthearted. Next article we'll get into momentarily. We'll let the temperature come down to an acceptable raw milk temperature, and then we'll
140 degrees, I believe. Keep it below 140 if you don't want to pasteurize. I think that's
no.
I read that earlier. I don't know.
You'll destroy all that valuable vitamin C in your milk. I couldn't get over that one. Yeah. When I got to that was the main thing that was being damaged by the.
You're gonna get that scurvy, man.
Sean, I need you to read K-Cup's chat.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it says squid arm, squid body, part of a squid arm, the rest of the squid arm.
And that's an important thing to say. Octopus. Yeah. It takes a lot of courage to say that, Keika, but I'm glad you did. You're a stronger man than I am.
I disagree with Keika. I disagree with it.
Oh, well, your friendship is over now. Sorry, Keika. That's...
Yeah.
He didn't realize that he was ending his friendship with us on stream, I guess.
Live on live in 4K.
Getting messy.
Well, we don't consent to that, so
1080p, I guess. But okay, I'm gonna get these horrible raw milk articles off my screen.
Okay.
Goodbye, Raw Milk Institute. May you never darken my door again. All right, next one.
Nice.
Good save there.
How many colors would you gentlemen say you've seen in your lives?
How many?
Yeah.
Wait, like I don't like the way this question started.
Oh, like, yeah. No, let's be very clear about what you're talking about.
What context are we talking colors? Because if you mean coloreds, I don't want to answer this.
How many?
It's already off to a bad start.
How many hues of the artistic palette have you gentlemen seen in your life?
I know more than K-Cup.
Oh, that's so mean.
Oh, come on. Am I seriously stuck?
But also 100% true.
Sorry, K-Cup.
What would you boys say if I told you that scientists have discovered a new color?
I would say, tell me more, good sir.
Yeah.
It was this headline, and I never read it because I was like,
Is it Vanta Black? Please tell me it's Vanta Black.
It is not Vanta Black. That one already exists. Cake of no.
Dude, what is this for? Oh my god.
Oh no, this is great. Hang on. Let's see if he lands it. Well, you are like knee deep in snow, my friend. I don't know how you're moving.
Got that pow pow. Ooh, got the twist.
Finished. So when I first saw the headline, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't understand how could there be a new color? We have the entire.
Like, no, just saying that doesn't.
It doesn't make any sense. Because we have all the colors that we can possibly naturally see. You can adjust the saturation, the hue.
This kind of feels like Brandon's about to get into a discussion about eugenics.
Oh, you beat me to it. Yeah, that's definitely where we're going. No, so it turns out that it's less of a new color, quote unquote, but more of one that we are not naturally able to perceive. And it has to do with the construction of the human eye. So They say there are only so many colors that the typical human eye can see. Estimates put that number at just below 10 million. But scientists say they have broken out of that spectrum and into a new world of color using a precise laser setup to stimulate the retinas of 5 participants, making them the first humans to see a color beyond our natural visual range. And they say
I want to be part of this.
Yeah. They say that it's an impossibly saturated bluish green. So
I just want to say, I don't want to pause you real quick. It's interesting, fascinating. We're going to come back to it. I feel like if you take our chat out of complete context of the stream, it is very sketchy on the surface.
It's also complete nonsense.
Yes.
K-Cup was hoping for horse brown.
Get wrecked, Stygian blue, spectrum. The word you're looking for is spectrum. Horseman brown. Lymphow.
And we're skydiving.
See ya.
We went base jumping. All right, let's do
So they have to. Okay, so they blast your retina with a laser.
Yes,
to show you a different color.
How familiar are you, Dr. Max and Medical Corbin? And Sean, you too. What the hell?
Yeah, we got a new time.
Why not? Throw me in there.
Chatter is a bot.
How? Thanks, Fundamentalist Constructao, offering cheap viewers on Streamboo. Thank you, 5.
You guys are my stream boo.
Oh, that's sweet. Not me. We're not friends anymore, but
we can call each other stream.
No, we're friends again. You can come to my birthday party.
How familiar are you with the way that our retinas process colors? I wasn't.
Not as much now as I was at the end of medical school, but sure.
So the retinas contain 3 types of cone cells. There are S cones, which pick up relatively short wavelengths, which is what we see as blue.
Just drop over.
M cones, which react to medium wavelength, which we see as green. And then L cones, which are triggered by long wavelengths, so we see as red. So S for short, medium, M for medium, L for long. So
I vaguely remember
all the hues that we see are some combination of those wavelengths. The red, blue, and green signals travel to the brain, where they're combined into the full color vision we experience. So that's basically how our eyes, translate color to the brains. So the interesting thing about the way these cones interact is that there are lights that...
There you go.
You're doing great.
He was.
He's fine. He's fine.
Light can activate the S or the L, but there has never been a light in the world that can activate only the M cone cells. Because if they are being activated, for sure one or both other types get activated as well. This is one of the researchers who published this, study, for lack of a better word, this experiment. So the M, the green wavelength, can never be activated without activating some of the red or some of the blue.
Interesting. But what if...
Go ahead.
What if you built a laser to shoot the M cones?
Well, no one's tried that yet, but they might get to that in this. We'll see. I'm not sure.
Okay.
So what can Cyclops see then?
Ooh, good point.
I think Cyclops is always seeing red. Judas, you're a big Cyclops fan. What do you know about Cyclops' cones?
I
We'll
wonder...
let him marinate on that.
Yeah, I know Judas well enough to know that he'll argue over the physical structure and engineering of a lightsaber. He's probably got an opinion on how Cyclops' eyes work.
Quick sidebar on that. I was watching a YouTube video by a creator named his name's Iron Pineapple. He does a lot of Souls-like games as his I'm a one-trick pony. What can I say? And he was playing a game with a friend, and they came across a boss that was a Cyclops, and it had 2 eyes. It was the funniest thing to see. The one thing about a Cyclops.
It's
a Cyclops with 2 eyes is the most the funniest inadvertent enemy I think I've ever seen in a video
it's not
game.
a Cyclops.
No.
It's
it was just an ogre, but it was so charming.
I don't actually have to in my old age.
Oh, apathetic Judas. It's okay, bud. We're here to make you feel again. We're gonna blast your metaphorical. Look at the cat, Judas. Do you feel something now?
Oh, baby kitty.
No, it's not a mutant Cyclops, Dranith. It's a Biclops. That's what it is. It has 2 eyes. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So back to our lasers.
All right,
So the
laser
research
shooting
team,
the eyes, new colors.
hmm So the research team wanted to get around that limitation, so they developed a Technicolor technique they called Oz, which of course is referencing the Wizard of Oz.
Okay.
Kevin Nash's
The
OG
emeralds.
character, right?
Correct. They're referencing named after
Yeah,
Kevin Nash,
that's what
the greatest wrestler of any time.
Shout out to Kevin Nash, I guess.
They named it that because this technique is to target the M cone, which is the green one, and so Oz, Emerald City, blah blah blah. Okay, so they use this laser to deliver light only to the M cone cells, and they do note that this is not a comfortable setup. That
It doesn't sound comfortable.
Yeah.
no, the researchers experimented on themselves. 3 of the 5 participants were co-authors of the study, and the 2 others were colleagues from the University of Washington who were. This doesn't seem ethical. Who were unaware of the purpose of the research.
Like, oh, what do we got going on here, man?
That's not a good sign.
Sit in that chair.
It's not a great sign.
Open up your eye real wide. No, it's fine. Where are you going?
So they enter a darkened lab and they sit at a table, and then there are lasers, mirrors, deformable mirrors, modulators, light detectors. They then had to bite down hard on a bar to keep their head and eyes still as the laser got blasted directly into their retina. He perceived a tiny square of light roughly the size of a thumbnail viewed at arm's distance. So, yeah.
Dranith wants to know how many of these people are blind now, and Jacob says Corbin put on a pretty dress.
I'm trying, man.
In game
There's no pretty
yeah,
dresses.
say in real life.
He didn't specify. I think he meant
study
IRL.
was-
From your girlfriend.
Trust us, bro. We've got this laser, these mirrors. We want you to bite your head and don't move.
Don't
not
move.
move.
We're gonna.
move.
This is gonna get real bad.
For the love of God.
I like this.
In that square, so in the thumbnail size square, if you put your arm out, is where he glimpsed I hate they get so color, like, he glimpsed the Emerald City, a color the researchers have named Olo.
Olo?
Olo is what they decided. OLO is what they decided to name this color.
Does it mean something, or they just were like, these are syllables?
Yeah, I think they get to it actually. They described the color as a blue-green with unprecedented saturation, a perception the human brain conjured up in response to a signal it had never received before from the eye. I hate you, Dranith. I hate you so much. The closest thing to Olo that can be displayed on a computer screen is teal, or the color represented by hexadecimal code #00FFCC.
Is that our brand color?
Oh, it should be. We'll change it.
Okay. Something went flying.
So the basic premise of this is that, like, it's less that there is it's worded clickbaity, right? But it's less that, like, a quote unquote new color was discovered. But what they discovered with this setup of blasting the M cones directly with a laser is that they can force your brain to experience a color that it can't experience naturally.
So basically, it's like doing
Seems
acid
ethical.
without doing acid.
Maybe.
Oh.
I don't even know if that is a
colors.
yeah.
I disagree with that. I don't know.
You know what? I think Sean should find out for us.
I think
Do
so.
we
Sean,
have
we have
Sean,
to
if
do
you
any
could-
experiment?
we want to
Johnson
try it.
acid?
Actually, we're gonna have to do 2 experiments, and you are your own control. Just so you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't want to have stuff blasted in my eyes.
Okay. Well,
You don't have to.
Well, I don't know about that.
But
I agree.
I don't
so
have an
Go
eye
ahead.
fetish, and eye stuff makes me, So one thing
Yeah,
I kind of get
same.
about.
A lot of
Yeah.
ER docs I worked with they like eyes were a skeezy thing. Like they were just like,
Yeah.
"Ugh."
With them.
That's how I
Even-
feel about eyes.
even watching people, like, touch their eye is like, ugh, can't deal with it.
Cerumen
Alright.
removal is my ick, though.
Really?
Yeah, I hate that so much.
That's
What
so
does that
satisfying.
mean?
Earwax. When
Oh,
people come in because their ears are so plugged up with just balls of wax, and I have to clean them out, and I'm like, the entire time I'm just like, this is the grossest thing ever. Like,
I mean, it's pretty gross, but it's not. I don't know if I'd be okay with it. I think I could stomach it.
I don't like sputum, which is phlegm.
see, everybody has their ick thing in
Yeah,
healthcare.
I don't like sputum. I don't do maggots. Absolutely not. Hard pass. Whoa!
When I had LASIK
Cool.
described to me, like what they actually do, that sounds like the most horrifying thing I can imagine.
Well, I was gonna actually wrote a little note to myself because I had LASIK done, And what you were describing, it kind of is reminiscent of it. Like, I remember being young and like they're like, okay, we're gonna do LASIK, but I was informed. I knew what was happening, and they gave me, I think they gave me a 5 milligram dose of diazepam to relax me, and I just remember sitting there going, I don't feel relaxed. Like I'm about to have surgery on my eye, and you sat in a chair. They gave you these really, really potent eye numbing drops. That stung a bunch, but then once they were numb, they put this monocle over your eye. I don't know what they were. It was well before I had any of that knowledge. So
proparacaine.
It might have just been that, but in my head they're really powerful because they did eye surgery on me and I didn't feel it. So then they put this crazy monocle on your eye that it just like goes over your eye and you can kind of see through it and it rotates. And what it's doing is it's cutting a flap in the cornea. And so it cuts the flap in the cornea, they remove the monocle, and then the ophthalmologist came in with these little tweezers and he just like peels back my cornea. And for a second when they do that, you go blind because you're not reflecting the light back at the back of your eye.
I'm having a panic
that was
attack.
a moment. That was a moment where I was like, ooh, I think he just peeled my eye back. I couldn't feel it, so I was like
so uncomfortable.
Sure. And then
that's.
And then he was like, okay, now you stare at the red light because that's the laser it's tracking. So stare at the red light and we'll start fixing your eye. And I was like, dude, I'm like 2800 vision. I'm super blind. So the red dot is this big smudge. And so I literally asked him, I was like, do I stare at the center of the smudge? Because when you say laser pinpoint, it's not that. It's a giant smear. He's like, yeah, just do the best you can. He like walked out. I was like, what?
He left?
But
good enough.
Unbeknownst to me, the computer, it doesn't matter. The computer, even in whatever, 2003, I think was when I had that done, it tracks your eye. And so like you just have to look in the general direction. But as it would blink, every flash was a laser discharge. And then I slowly saw the laser come into like focus. It was super cool. Then I smelled my eye burning, and then they did it to the other eye, and then I went home and just slept for like a few hours.
The fact
that all of that sounds just absolutely horrific.
The fact that your description of a procedure involving surgically altering your eye involved a man with tweezers coming into the room.
Ophthalmologist. He gets paid a lot.
The most horrifying thing I've ever heard. We don't. That's the most advanced technology we have to deal with this is friggin' tweezers.
Cake-up.
Let me fix it nice.
Not to be super gross, but like most flesh when it's seared smells similar. So it just kind of smells like light.
Kind of smells like barbecue.
Yeah, it does. Or it was like, ooh, it smells like burning. That's my eye. I can see now.
Cake-up's doing acid with me instead of the eye laser, so all right.
when do I get to paint my house in this color?
So, we have some verifications to make first. To check if what the participants saw was actually a color beyond the human's standard visual range. I don't know why I said the humans. That was very strange.
You're going to say something that's way more helpful, but then I just have the scientists just grilling these guys. Just be like, you ever see that before? That's crazy, right? You never saw that before.
The researchers completed color matching experiments in which they would compare Olo with a teal laser and adjust the color's saturation by adding or subtracting white light. All participants found that if they added white light to Olo, desaturating it, the new color would match the laser, confirming that Olo lies beyond the normal human range for color vision. So, Olo doesn't quote-unquote exist in the sense of like without this laser blasting your M cones only, you can't see it. It's basically tricking your brain into seeing something that it can't naturally perceive, which is why I am like genuinely curious.
Does that count as a new color then?
No.
I think it's a new experience of a color.
Yeah.
is more like accurate.
Oh man.
But you guys in your counter experiment, I am honestly curious if even whilst tripping, could your brain conceive of colors that you won't naturally be able to perceive?
Probably.
Because this requires a laser blasting your eye to send that signal to your brain. I don't know if your brain can do it on its own.
Can't see you anymore, Corbin. No.
He's fine.
Oh,
he's doing
stuck.
great.
So, okay. So, is it that... how would you put this? So if your brain can't process the color, you blast the little M cones, and your brain's getting the signal like, I don't know what that is. But the scientist could just check the color outside of your brain and be like, yep, it's different. Trust us.
Yeah,
their brains experience the color. Well, I guess they would have to, because if you're using the person's cones to do it, it can't just exist outside of them. So
right.
But you're still having to blast someone's cones that everyone has with this special laser or whatever.
But it does
so
also
it's like,
raise the
wouldn't
question.
anyone be able to experience without it? No.
Right. Well, but that does raise the question,
Yeah.
though. If the brain is capable of perceiving it with this external force, wouldn't the brain have to have the capacity to see that color regardless?
Dude, I'm just sick of my brain half-assing shit. This is bullshit, you know? At the end of the day, that's what... Like, really, you could create more colors? Like, what else are you capable of?
Well, that's a good question. And Five wants to know...
Why are you holding back on all of us?
Yeah.
So they're making up colors. We have to trust them on milk. You know what, Five? You have a good point. We are taking back everything we just said about the raw milk. The government is lying to you.
it is a neat experiment, though. I mean, I got it. It's pretty cool.
But you would... I mean, it does kind of raise the question of, like, why, though, right?
I mean, isn't that science in general?
Well, what's the point? Yeah.
Isn't it always just why?
Because it's neat and you can do it. That's the only point you need. You don't need to overthink it. It's
They
neat,
actually do.
You figured out. No.
I'm more upset now.
They're actually ahead of you on this. They actually...
Sean's unhappy. Guys,
Yeah.
we made Sean sad.
Let's see. Let's go back to talking about food this may have matter. Hi,
Hey,
to
first time chatter.
MCCA.
Oh, sorry to make anybody's head hurt. This is
Yeah.
this is some next
Do you
level
feel like we're
spring
blasting
stuff.
lasers directly into your retina right now? We apologize. We hope you're seeing something new.
Welcome in, though. Yeah, this is a very heady topic. It's very heady for a science topic.
Yeah,
But-
I think Duranath is explaining it well. The color exists. It's just that we can't perceive it.
Oh yeah, that makes more sense.
So
Well, we're gonna go fakey down this mountain, I guess.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh,
Boy.
oh, going backwards.
Easy.
But so they talk about the possibility of what this can mean for us. So the team dreams of one day building screens that can scan your retina to display perfect images and videos by delivering light to individual cones, enabling crisp, non-pixelated visuals in impossible colors. They recognize that that's going to be hard to do, but not outside the realm of possibility. And they also bring up that it's technical breakthrough. Let's see, they would love it in their lab. I know they talk about more immediately, they speculate that this system could be used to let congenitally colorblind patients experience colors such as green and red for the first time. Because you're bypassing the natural light processing and you're forcing the true colors on there.
So, interesting kind of tangential but neat thing. You know how you close your eye and you push on it? You ever do that for fun?
Uh-huh.
You see, you see.
For fun? Yeah, that's what I do on Friday nights.
See flashy stuff. It's because you can activate the rods and cones by pressure. So if you get punched in the eye, or you just like close your eye and you push on it, you will see. I mean, you don't do this for a long period of time, but you will actually see light because you're still stimulating rods and cones with pressure, albeit not with
Interesting
photons. And so it does make sense that if you can trigger them in different ways, you're going to get interesting different effects. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, Duranath, to answer your question about it, like lasers to the eyes. So what they postulated there is what they think could be a thing in the future. They said it's difficult. Would be that the screen scans your retina, and then delivers light to the individual cones within it. So like this, that's how crazy. So essentially, I mean, it would be delivering light specifically to like your retina structure to blast colors.
Are they going to just use this to sell us another like crazy high-end monitor that my brain can
Yeah,
use?
like
this is 16K TV.
Yeah.
What this is really boiling down to.
No, this is just the fitness influencers trying to sell us on some other like supplement that we need.
Yeah, sorry.
The color.
This was posted by Dr. Andrew Huberman. We've been had. I'm sorry, fellas.
We need to start consuming more raw milk in order to see extra colors, I guess.
This is all about hustle culture. Get up and take your ice baths, you losers. They do have one last little bit here at the very end. They say, think of animal research. We could impose...
No, I don't like to.
Now, hang on.
Okay.
They could impose animal types of photoreceptors onto human subjects to say, this is what a dog really sees, what a mouse sees, what a goldfish sees.
I'm
That's
gonna put dog eye on your eye, and then I'm gonna shoot it with a laser.
Legolas, what do you see with your dog eyes?
Oh, I want some fly eyes. You know, those things have crazy eyes.
But I would just say, like, just
See everything.
From a strictly, like, not should we, but can we perspective, that's pretty neat.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's kind of...
Yeah.
I want to see what a dog sees.
Look, I'm a pro. Do a lot of things in science just for the sake of discovering stuff. I get it. Like, don't slap dog eyes at people. I don't think it works that way. But to see how
Also-
another animal sees, there's probably some benefit there. Just be nice about it.
Elon's probably listening, and he's going to get
Come
some
on.
random ideas, so
Well,
I should probably stop.
so I mentioned this to my workout partner earlier, and he actually had seen. I'm sure it was a TikTok, so take it for what it's worth. But it was something about dogs can see certain colors or react better to certain colors than others, much like colorblind humans, like Jacob.
Careful,
My dogs.
careful where this goes.
My dogs hate taupe.
Really?
Yeah, they hate it.
I think he was saying that they did like an experiment to like demonstrate it, but like yellow and blue were the
There
colors
we
that the dog
go.
was reacting to better. So, but if we could actually see like what animals, like how they experience color, you could technically maybe build an environment that is more welcoming and more engaging for them using colors that are more like more beneficial to their photoreceptors.
I would spend unreasonable amounts of money to do that. I would absolutely do that.
So it's I'm just saying
What,
like I'm not
what
saying any of this
colors
is,
do you think Bear would see?
Oh, my dog Bear doesn't see things.
Yeah.
I think he's probably happy for light and shadow at this point.
he sees
He's
all the love in
boy,
my
though.
heart, and that's all that he needs.
Oh,
He's passed out back there.
That's a
He's
good
a good
boy.
boy.
Don't startle him and give his ears their weirdness.
red ears.
Can you change the starting video to that picture of Bear?
Probably. Yeah, I could definitely do that.
Yes,
It's a good idea.
we'll do that.
Well,
We'll start swapping in pictures of Bear in there.
we need
but
to
that- so that-
we need to make a cool song too. Just as an aside, we're just using the meme song. We need to make a cool song. Can we
I
do
think we
that with new notes that nobody else can hear?
Yeah, sure,
Like-
why not?
It's
Yeah.
nothing. It's just nothing but the brown note.
you gotta you gotta blast drill bits directly into your ear though to activate those receptors. So,
You right, Henry? Okay. Well, Brandon, you're the composer.
well, crap,
Walked into that one.
I did. Can it be chiptune? I love chiptune songs, and I think it goes with the vibe
know
of,
what that
of
is.
our little digital 8-bit boys down there.
If it's common creative license, yeah, absolutely. Don't know what that
Oh,
is,
baby.
but teach me.
Just get a MIDI software and we'll just compose our own. That'll go well.
That is that's probably the best thing we can do.
Durandith, haven't you messed around with MIDI composers?
I have.
You have?
No.
hmm
Yeah.
Really?
Put Corbin on it.
Yeah.
How did it go?
I mean, I'm not very musically inclined, so I mean, it went about as well as you'd expect, I guess.
Did you just try to make MIDI versions of every Guns N' Roses song?
Yeah, and
Just a guess.
That was a Guns
Um,
N' Roses song. Just
I'm not sure what that was.
What kind of song was that?
I
Oh,
don't
it
know,
was,
but I like where it was going, and I was
No,
gonna
it
just let it keep happening.
I think it was Sweet Child of Mine. I think is what that was.
I think it was.
Yeah. See, I can recognize it.
Yeah, I nailed it.
That's the extent of my science-y articles. I do have a palate cleanser when we're ready.
Indeed.
Speaking of nailing
Very-
things, I am really nailing this trail right now.
Oh, God,
Yeah.
Let's go.
As a laser onto a retina, you are flying, my friend.
Easy.
Okay.
Oh,
Not easy.
no, I gotta start over. I embedded my skis in that boulder.
You did.
It's okay. You don't
Oof.
need both of your knees. You're good.
Chance says he's tried, but usually that was messing with existing midis and then making them. Yeah, fair
I see.
enough. I get it. What's I like the idea of the palate cleanser. It's always nice. Although we didn't have very like heavy, scary articles tonight. I feel like the raw milk was not.
Raw milk was heavy, but wasn't. It was heavy in the sense that it was really stupid.
Humanoid robots racing and falling down with their heads flying off.
That's not heavy either. That's extremely fun.
But then I mean, dude, at one point you broke down in tears and it got intense and we had to like slow things down.
Yeah.
Wait, what did I miss?
Yeah, it was pretty rough, bro.
Yeah.
Brandon
Judas
got
wasn't
sad
there,
about
thank
robots?
goodness.
Yeah.
Well, you don't know what was happening to them. They're being forced to run, Corbin.
And duct taped together to finish the race.
They're not real.
Their heads are violently shaking off their bodies. Starting.
That was pretty funny, actually.
Yeah.
It's kind of unsettling in like the best way possible.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. That was a pretty fun article.
The one that had like a Gundam head on a tank body and it just spun into its creator's right.
Immediately like ran over to the people who made it. That was good stuff. That was last stream. If anybody, up there on the YouTube, I think it's still on Twitch right now.
Yeah,
our last ones are on Twitch.
I think Sean was playing. Sean was playing League of Legends, and the topics were. Oh, by the way, while we're on this, sorry, we meant to mention this. We're eventually gonna remember. We mention at the end of every stream that we should start every stream with this. If anyone watching has any ideas for topics or any articles they've come across that they would like us to cover,
or even the game that you want me to play, like I am down to play whatever.
Please.
Even if it's something you think I'll hate, I will give it a shot and I will play it.
Corbin hates most video games, is what it boils down to.
Any turn-based RPG would be a great recommendation.
Hey, I almost played one tonight on stream, and then we decided that this would be much more soothing to watch.
We were talking about, and color-wise, it plays right into Raw Milk, so you chose an amazing game for this stream.
I do like that most of the stream palette here is teal, and that's kind of close to the one.
That's true.
Talked about.
We were talking about comfort games on a previous stream, and Corbin straight up said that he has no comfort games, that he does not play games for enjoyment. So he'll play anything you throw at him.
Pretty much, man. Although I was playing Tunic out of fun, and then I accidentally beat that last night because that's what I was gonna play today, and then I finished it and was like, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have done that."
So anyone who watched the prior Tunic stream, sorry, it's over.
And hey, if you want to watch somebody also self-flagellate with games, I keep playing a bunch of retro games that are insanely hard, and I'm not good at them. You can just watch me lose my will to live throughout the entire stream. I still don't know why I'm doing that.
Jacob says Corbin hates games. This explains all the COD back in the day.
What does that mean? I like games. I play cool games. Played through Fallout.
Doesn't do it for enjoyment.
Starfield. Starfield is super fun. I played that out of enjoyment.
Why aren't you playing the Oblivion remaster? Oblivion remaster is topical.
I don't know. I looked at it and I was like, I didn't really want to play it when it came out the first time, and just because it's got a new
coat of paint
skin, basically, I was like, it's still the same game.
Also,
sorry.
Put makeup on a pig, or so to speak, you know.
Go ahead, Sean.
I was gonna say, we did have an idea for another new stream where our friend Dan would play a new game and see if it makes him motion sick.
It's literally like any game that has more than like 3 inputs.
Oh, we put Dan in a VR helmet and put a timer up.
Oh, God.
And just have him do flight sims and stuff.
Oh, let's do this. We'll have Dan on that. We'll have Sean and Jacob dropping a hallucinogen, and then Max has to drink a cup of raw milk and see who gets sick first. And
that's a great idea. Do I get to chase it with a dose of Cipro or not?
No, you get to chase it with a Four Loko.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah,
it's probably safer than raw milk.
And the loser gets their retina blasted with lasers.
Is Four Loko safer than raw milk? Hold on, I'm gonna look that up.
This is fact check that
now.
Yeah.
Is
at least the alcohol in Four Loko is gonna pretty much self-pasteurize it.
All right, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. All right, AI overview.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Four Loko is generally considered safer to drink than raw milk, although both have potential health risks.
Yes.
Raw milk carries a high risk of bacterial contamination, leading to serious illness. Four Loko, while containing alcohol and high in sugar, has a lower risk of bacterial contamination if consumed responsibly. That doesn't exist. You don't consume Four Loko responsibly.
Yeah.
Is there even a way to consume it responsibly?
I I don't think so.
I think inherently, if your choice is to go to the liquor store and you're buying Four Loko, responsibility is not
It's the
something that
last
you're
thing.
real concerned
It
about.
doesn't exist for you.
To be fair, the AI was very profound there because you consume Four Loko responsibly the exact same way that you consume raw milk safely. You
Yeah,
don't.
that's fair.
That's
sorry,
amazing.
but to if you have any topics, ideas, articles, anything that you'd like us to cover, please, you can feel free to email us at savepointsociety at gmail.com. We also have a Blue Sky. We also have our YouTube channel.
I gotta remember to check that. I don't think I
Yeah.
checked that.
Instagram,
Also,
right?
we do not have a Hotmail account, so don't message
we
us
don't.
there.
Yeah.
We all individually have
email from
Hotmail accounts,
Hotmail,
but
not us.
not as a group.
If you also, if you're a little bit more old-fashioned and you like to send letters, if you whisper us, I'll go ahead and send you Brandon's address.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's not hard to guess. Just guess. You'll get it.
I mean, I can just put it up on stream real quick. We make it part of the socials.
To get us away from that uncomfortable thought,
We just want Brandon to get doxxed immediately as we're starting our streaming career.
it's okay. I want friends. So if you're friendly, I'll give you my address. Just put in the comments that you're friendly, and I'll DM you my address. Anything for engagement on the YouTube videos, please. I'm begging you.
Love you, Brandon. It's amazing.
But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, follow the channel, subscribe on YouTube. We love any engagement or any any feedback you have. We'd love to take that in and improve the channel. Not that
It's a
we're going
work
to do
in
anything
progress
to say.
too. Like we work, we have meetings.
It's true.
We're trying to. I don't know. It's hard to do something different when there's like 4 billion people doing some version of talking in video games. So we use that. We use that feedback.
No.
Oh.
If you're coming for good gameplay, by the way, you're in the wrong stream.
This is not the one.
It's fun gameplay, but this is not. You're not
There's
going to get any
gameplay,
tips and
but
tricks here.
The gameplay is just the backdrop for the chatting.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Although next stream, I believe I'll be gaming. I'll be continuing my journey on Bloodborne for the 20th time. So you'll see not a lot of dying, but it's only because I'm playing a game I've played a billion times. So I believe Max, you'll be. Are you bringing the articles or Sean? Sean's bringing the articles.
I'm bringing articles.
Sean's moderating next time, and that will be Thursday at 10:30 Eastern time.
Yeah.
Correct.
Dranith wants to know if we have a Telegram. I don't think we do. Sorry, Dranith.
Don't believe so.
And
Not a Telegram account. Like you actually send us a Telegram.
yeah, I'm
We
sorry.
do have a
Telegram.
we do have a Tinder account, but you have to find it. It is all four of us.
You have to
on the
swipe
same
right.
account, so yeah, you have to guess. Again,
I will also accept carrier pigeons.
Yep.
Again, it should be
I
pretty
had
easy
one
to
in my
guess our
yard.
Tinder
Did
account.
You guys know
If
that?
you know where I
I
live.
had a carrier pigeon for like a couple weeks.
Really?
Jacob says
Yeah, I
Corbin
went
could work
outside.
on his gaming ability.
I went outside one day. It's like last year or the year before, and like in the side yard, there's like just a pigeon chilling there, like beautiful, has a little tag on its foot, and I was like, oh. And it was like I could walk up to it, and it would like slowly pigeon away from me, and then it would come back up. I was like, this thing is definitely around humans. And so then I looked up its tag, and like, because you can kind of, people tag them and they're registered, and I was like, oh, what a neat thing. And then I started looking up a bunch of stuff about carrier pigeons and homing pigeons and like the hobby, and it gets dark. There's like usually the pigeons who get off course and don't come back, they're like, the people don't want them back because they were slow. Not everybody, like there's good people in this, but there's some cutthroat homing pigeon people, and they don't want the pigeons that get lost. And this pigeon sat in my yard for like 3 weeks and then just flew off.
I feel like this should be a topic for the show.
No, it made me sad when I read about it. And I was like, I think I need to protect. We named him Pidgey, and I was like, I think I need to protect Pidgey from his former owners.
Why Pidgey?
There's a pigeon.
I'm kidding. I know.
He has a cat named Baby Kitty, so Pidgey. Makes
That's
sense.
true.
No, my cat's name is Hannibal von Nibblesworth. We just call her Baby Kitty.
And you have a small melanated red panda named Bear.
Yep.
In your house.
He's a good boy.
That's not a dog. That's a red panda.
Mhm.
Okay,
I mean, he
speaking
is
of
part
animals,
panda.
we are approaching our 2-hour mark, so I want to go ahead and get us into into the palate cleanser here, boys. So
Take up some.
Brandon
talked a
wants
lot
to
about-
stop talking.
That's it. I'm sick of hearing your voices. I want to hear more of mine. I've only talked for
Yeah,
75% of the stream. So
Nice. How long have you been playing this level?
Wow.
I feel like you've been on the same race for so long.
Well, because in this mode, if I die, it starts me back at the very beginning.
Oh, I didn't even.
This was not like time checkpoints. It's just like free writing.
Okay.
Corbin, you don't have a dog. You just have cats. But you boys all have pets.
Currently, just have a cat. Yes.
Yes. If let's say your healthiest pet, so bears out.
I don't have one.
Neither do I, man. I got a diabetic cat who gets medications and hyperthyroid meds.
If Sean has a healthy dog.
Sean is a healthy dog. We'll say in their prime. Let's say if your healthiest or if your strongest pet in its prime got lost in the Australian wilderness, how long do you think it would survive?
Guinness would have died immediately. Guinness there's no way he would have survived. Dude,
yeah. How long would hens make it, Sean?
Henry, I think, would make it. I think he'd do okay.
Oh, hi, hens.
Hi, Henry. Such a good boy.
Yeah. He'd do okay. He's got some padding on him.
Who's your strongest soldier, Max?
Okay, so in the modern day...
Lemmy or Baby Kitty?
Hobbs was a street cat.
Hobbs, man. Hobbs, 100%.
Yeah, I think it's probably Hobbs because he's closest to being a street cat, and he has that survival instinct. He had it up until about 2 years ago when we rescued him, and he just showed up, and we kept him, and now he's like, yeah, whatever, I live this life. But at least he's closest, because the other cat, Baby Kitty, is she was also a stray, but that was like 6 years ago. She has long forgotten those ways. Like she sleeps in the winter in a cat bed that's next to a stand-up like floor vent. Like heater blows on her, and she stays in that bed for all of winter. She is not surviving in the wilderness anymore. So I think it's probably Hobbs.
Had he stayed a vigilante, that level of Hobbs. Also, by the way, how have we not addressed Keika bird suck get bent? Where did that come from?
Sean's supposed to be paying attention to chat.
I don't disagree with you, Keika, but I'm just stunned by this.
He just would rather see a bunch of horses.
Yeah, Keika's he has a long history of pet horses, so he yours don't count. They're too large, Keika. So my answer is that all of your pets are losers and they would die immediately, but not Valerie. Valerie, the miniature dachshund, survived 529 days alone in the Australian wilderness.
I don't think I'd survive in like Sydney, Australia for like more than a week.
A miniature dachshund went missing off of, and this just, when I first read this, I was like, is this The Onion? Because she went missing on Kangaroo Island off South Australia. I was like, come on, Australians.
Hey, Kangaroo Island.
Oh, Kangaroo Island. Named because of all of the venomous snakes and spiders there. So obviously
not because of the kangaroo.
There's no kangaroos? Come on.
Maybe venomous snake and spider island was a little too intimidating for tourists. So they were like, we'll just call it Kangaroo Island. It's fine.
Max, do you remember that old bit from Curse of Monkey Island where they go to Skull Island? And it's the bunny?
Yes.
It's the first thing I thought of when they...
I'm going to throw this out there too. Monkey Island, I think it's Monkey Island 3. Murray, the skull, is the absolute best NPC in all of video gaming. Top 3, at least.
No arguing with that. But so, apparently, this is a miniature dachshund, not even a full-size badger killer.
Sure.
So her owners... The owners do not deserve to have her back. They got her back when she was rescued by the... Sorry, I was trying to find the name of the organization, but we'll just say Australian Wildlife.
It's probably the cat rescue organization that rescues dogs.
That's the one. But it was a non-profit. Okay, sorry, the Kangala Wildlife Rescue. So there were, let's see, the group said its volunteers spent more than 1,000 hours and traveled more than 3,000 miles in the search operation, which involved numerous cameras and traps. The dog kept getting away from traps and kept retreating at the sight of humans. So I love this dog. This dog is amazing. And the owners apparently went fishing on while they were on vacation, and they just left the dog like in a pen or whatever at camp and just left, and that's how the dog ended up like escaping and being in the wilderness by itself.
I don't love that either.
So they don't deserve to have Valerie back.
Yeah.
Valerie's too good for them.
So where is Valerie living now?
Valerie's home. She's back with her owners.
With them?
Yeah, but the way they ended up catching her was they left it the volunteers wore one of her owner's old shirts and then had like strips of clothing leading into what essentially was like the box with a stick. I mean, it was a more high-tech version of that. Like it was actually like an automated door on it, but essentially that's what it was just a box that.
Sure.
But she kept retreating, and she was too smart to. But it makes sense, right? If she survived 529 days.
She's resourceful.
Yeah, like she's not gonna fall for your stupid human traps. Like she's evading spiders and snakes and kangaroos.
Venomous kangaroos.
Venomous kangaroos.
Kangaroo, will expect bite.
Durana says they're lucky the dog didn't make an alliance with the emus. That's correct.
Yeah.
The Australia would be they're already dealing with tariffs, and now they're dealing with a band of emus led by Rambo Dog. Who can't be destroyed.
And
so
yes,
I'm
Strata
confused
3
on the
is
timeline. The timeline here, the dog went,
11.
all right, they go fishing and they're like, hey dog, stay in your pen. We don't love you. And then the dog
I nailed that one. That was good.
And the dog was like, I don't want to stay in this pen. They don't love me. It left the pen. And then
the dog was like, BRB, see you in 18 months.
For 520 whatever days.
Yeah, there was they had like cameras set up. They had people canvassing, but the dog, whenever it saw humans, would retreat.
I think I missed when you said some of that. So basically, for 520 days, were they every single day they were out there doing a vigil and trying to find the dog?
Yeah, they said that volunteers spent more than 1,000 hours and traveled more than 3,000 miles in the search operation, which involved numerous cameras and traps.
Hey, have it.
Valerie, get down.
No, she went running out. Baby kitty needs stimulation. So okay, so at least they made an effort to try to reclaim the dog, and the dog was like, "No, I live in the wilderness now. I like this life better than you putting me in a pen. I hate you all.
God,
I want to eat the spiders and snakes."
And I hope that's what happened. And people in the comments were like,
"Do we know what the dog was surviving on?"
No. There was just it was just so funny because they keep talking about that there were Valerie sightings, which is just such a funny. That they saw the dog a lot, so they knew it was still alive, but that they could never catch the damn thing. And yeah, this dog. Look up this article. It's on NBC News. Do yourself a favor. The picture they have of this dog is the most delightful. Like it's when like you lay a dog on its back and it has like the tongue hanging out the side and the ears are all wacky.
Girl.
Sorry?
Yeah, because the dog's a good boy or girl. And
oh, yes. Valerie's the best girl.
So, I like how you went from raw milk to color that science hasn't seen yet to look at this cute dog. That's a good progression.
To be fair, I had thought of segues in all of them because raw milk. Actually, no, sorry, because it started out with the ape fight.
Right.
And then to fight an ape, you have to be healthy and strong.
Fight. That was so long ago.
Yep.
Do you
want
have
to be healthy
to
and
drink
strong,
raw milk to fight a gorilla?
I don't think it'll harm it. I think it'll only help.
I think you trick the gorilla into drinking raw milk, and then you win.
I was about to say that. It's got an 800% chance of losing at that point. And then if you take away beyond that, it's got like a 33 and a third. I don't remember how that thing.
Oh no!
You do some Steiner math.
I try. I don't have the brain power to do it. He can see the colors.
Only Steiners do.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what my segue was from the milk to the colors, but I gotta stop using that phrasing.
I really wish you'd stop calling people colors.
I'm clearly saying the word colors as in the plural of color, but actually, you know what?
Judas says, he's right. Don't worry, Valerie can take a gorilla. I think that's fair.
That's the real. Well, that's the back to the circling all the way back around. Is that 100 humans are useless? One Valerie will save us all. She is truly the Captain America of canines.
Do we have a Church of Valerie now?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, that one. That crash looked like it hurt a little bit more.
And everyone in chat has officially been signed up for it. So you'll be getting your membership robes in the mail. So look out for those.
Ooh, excellent. I do want robes.
What color robes?
Well, Valerie is like black and brown dachshund colored. So I think it has to be her coloring. So black robe, brown splotches.
What was the burrito T-shirt idea we had from earlier? We need to write this
Strange
down.
burrito.
There we go.
Yeah, something about a strange. I want to see. Show me your strange burrito.
Strange burrito.
Yeah.
I once made my wife watch Strange Brew. It's like the only thing in common with that is the word strange. I get that, but
there's other letters.
You ever see that movie? Yeah, Strange Brew is one of those movies that like your significant other, if you watch it with them, it might change your relationship. She just like, I don't think she made like the same stoic expression through the entire movie, and it was just like, what was that? Like I don't know. And then I felt awkward because I was like, why did I show that to you? I don't know why I thought you would enjoy
Send it.
And yet you have no problem recommending Hackers.
Hackers is a great movie.
Your standards are all over the place.
Strange Brew is a great movie too. I just realized that my wife doesn't get it, and I don't really get it, and so I couldn't really defend it. I can defend Hackers.
We can do both, Judas. We can do both versions. I think Sell Me Your Strange Burrito has to be like a stringer tank. It has to be a creepier type of.
I kind of like that.
That's the creepiest article of clothing I could think of.
Or some Zumbas with like an arch, like.
I was thinking just
Strange
white
burrito.
beaters. Get some white beater tank tops.
Your Zumbas, but they're like the foil that's around the burrito, and then like the ends of it are like burrito.
Oh baby.
Kind of weird looking in my head. Did you beat this game yet, Corbin, or how do we segue out of this?
I don't think there is a. There's no beating the game.
I think when you hurt your knees, just go weak and you quit.
Yeah, like when I do that.
Well, okay, we've covered a lot of ground tonight.
Yeah, there's no like end to this game. It's just free writing.
No,
fair enough.
Bail midair.
We appreciate everybody coming. Coming watching the stream as always. Our regular streaming schedule is Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10:30 Eastern time. And we go
weather permitting.
Weather permitting. We won't all always be here each time, but you'll rarely get fewer than 3 of us.
Yeah, rarely.
Rarely.
This is their way of keeping me out of the stream.
Correct. Maybe. We try to schedule at least one per week.
Regular hours.
Yes. But I think that's. I haven't gotten my squeaky hammer in the mail yet, but I'm working on it.
Did you actually order a gavel or a hammer?
I went searching, but all the ones I could find, I wasn't trusting of the quality, so I got to do a little more.
Yeah.
You weren't trusting of the quality of a clown gavel. Nice.
Well, I want it to be able to pick up on the mic. I'm worried that it's going to be like really soft, and you're never going to hear it.
You know, we could like probably load up a sound effect and just do that instead.
That's.
You know, we know a guy that could probably modify a hammer.
We do. Geriatric could build us one.
Ooh.
He could build us like an industrial strength one.
Yeah, I probably would.
With one of those awooga horns on it that's super loud and like mildly deafening to all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for now, you'll have to settle with the sultry sounds of our voice. Gentlemen, any parting words for the stream?
I think Sean should sing us off stream every time.
Do I have
Sean, do you want to sing us a song?
I don't.
Do you have a song in your heart or other parts of your body that you'd like to sing for us, Sean?
Well, I got things on parts of my body, but I'm not sure if they're songs.
Well, try and sing us a song about parts of your body.
We don't have a theme song. We just have Sean live make up a song every time.
Sean just hand boning on his body.
From this, to be honest with you.
Sean's boom boom body, boom boom body, yeah. Sean's boom boom body.
All right, we gotta change the name of the.
Yeah.
Gotta change the name of the channel.
All right,
boom,
everyone.
Boom body.
I appreciate everyone stopping by as well, and our first-time chatters, you're always welcome. Stop on back. We'll catch you next time, right?
Yeah.
We'll see you. We'll see you Thursday, 10:30 Eastern.
Keep wrecking here, I guess.
All right. Have a good night, Corbin.
See you guys.
Good night,
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.